Chapter 2374. However, it's a pity that despite our great efforts and countless years, we have only managed to collect about 2,900 primordial heavenly dragon talismans. A medieval Fey sage said regretfully, "We're just short of 46 primordial heavenly dragon talismans to form 3,000 primordial heavenly dragon talismans and form a peerless sacred artifact. If we had this peerless sacred artifact, destroying the humans' Thunder City in the Thunder Continent would be a piece of cake. At the same time, this Dharma treasure could also greatly enhance the strength of our Fey race." That's right. If it were a perfect primordial heavenly dragon talisman, we wouldn't need to be so careful and slowly absorb the Thunder Continent's origins, afraid of being discovered by other races. Furthermore, the speed at which we devour the origins would be extremely slow. The other primordial demons Saint nodded in agreement as well. Although they had collected more than 2,900 primordial heavenly dragon talismans and the power they could produce had reached an astounding level, it was still a far cry from a truly perfect primordial heavenly dragon talisman. The difference between perfection and imperfection was like the distance between heaven and earth. It was precisely because they had not reached perfection that when they circulated more than 2,000 primordial heavenly dragon talismans, they did not completely refine them. The speed at which they devoured the Thunder Continent's origins was also extremely slow. Furthermore, the more they devoured, the greater the commotion they caused. It was because of this situation that they were worried that the Thunder Continent's origins would be discovered by other races. Therefore, the Fey race caused trouble everywhere in the Thunder Continent, hoping to attract the attention of other races elsewhere. This was a diversionary tactic. Is there no way to find the remaining 46 primordial heavenly dragon talismans? A medieval Fey sage asked in a deep voice. There's no way. I previously requested Patriarch to use his divination skills in an attempt to find traces of the remaining primordial heavenly dragon talismans in the River of Destiny. However, the remaining 46 primordial heavenly dragon talismans seem to be hidden by some mysterious power. Even with Patriarch's powers, he is unable to pry into the traces of destiny. If he were to forcefully pry, he might even suffer the backlash of destiny laws. A Fey sage said with a grave expression. What? Even Patriarch's powers are unable to find the remaining 46 primordial heavenly dragon talismans? It looks like there's more than meets the eye. In fact, Patriarch also believes that an imperfect primordial heavenly dragon talisman is the best. The medieval demon sage Zaram said, "That's because these 3,000 primordial heavenly dragon talismans are the natal artifact of the dragon scientist Titania. Even today, each primordial heavenly dragon talisman might have left her spiritual imprint. If we gather all 3,000 primordial heavenly dragon talismans, I'm afraid we'll be noticed by Titania immediately, and that troublesome enemy will come for revenge. She's just a severely injured dragon sage. So what if she's taking revenge? How much power can she unleash?" No. Don't underestimate Titania. No matter what, she's a terrifying powerhouse who could escape from so many invincible saints. She's not someone we can underestimate. Primordial of demons, God demon even demon, Saint Talisman's treasure, has said, true. That even though primordial time sage of full of demon. That's right. Titania is a lunatic. We shouldn't provoke her if we can. If Titania becomes the mortal enemy of our demon race because of this peerless sacred weapon, we would lose more than we gain. The ancient demon saints nodded. Titania's name was like the shadow of a tree. Even though countless eras had passed, the memory of this mad scientist was still fresh in their minds, and they were extremely fearful of her. So what should we do next? Medieval Fey sage Zaram asked in a deep voice. Continue to carry out the diversion plan. A medieval Fey sage said, "These primordial heavenly dragon talismans devour the origin of the Thunderbolt continent. The further it goes, the greater the commotion. If we don't divert the attention of the humans, they will definitely discover something fishy." That's right. We can start a small-scale war and divert the attention of the human sages to the battlefield. That way, they won't have the energy to investigate the secrets of our Hamu city. As long as we can hold on for this period of time and wait for the 2,900 primordial heavenly dragon talismans to accumulate enough power, it will be the decisive battle between our demon race and the human race. Many medieval Fey sages discussed fervently as they emitted a strong killing intent. Don't worry. I'll make the arrangements later. I definitely won't let the humans or the other races discover anything fishy. Hearing that, medieval Fey sage Zaram nodded. Moose City, Bradley's Manor. At this moment, Xia Ping's clone was staying in an independent room in the manor. The room was surrounded by restrictive arrays. Any energy that tried to pass through the restrictive arrays would be detected by the owner of the room. I see. This is the demon race and Moose City's plan. Xia Ping understood the series of plans of Moose City through the eyes of karma attached to Zaram. He was also clear about the various plans of the demon race. Clearly, the demon race's strength had increased greatly after obtaining over 2,900 primordial heavenly dragon talismans. If these primordial heavenly dragon talismans devoured enough origin energy, they would immediately be able to unleash destructive power. This would be a fatal threat to the Thunder City of the human race. Additionally, through the eyes of karma, Zhang Tai sensed that the over 2,900 primordial heavenly dragon talismans above the sacrificial altar would soon devour enough energy. That was to say, the demon race would soon launch an attack on the human race. I have to stop the demon race. Xia Ping's eyes revealed a wisp of cold light. As a member of the human race, of course, he couldn't just watch the demon race destroy the Thunder City. That's right. Perhaps this is also a huge opportunity. All of a sudden, Zhang Tai stroked his chin as he thought of a plan. If he leaked this information to the human race and had them launch an attack on the demon race in advance, the unprepared demon race would not pose a great threat to the human race. By then, in order to protect Moose City, those medieval Fey Sage Palace would have to leave one after another. After that, the demonic Sage Palace would be in an empty state. By then, he might have a chance to enter and plunder all the primordial heavenly dragon talismans inside the demonic Sage Palace. Of course, this plan might not succeed. By then, there might be some medieval Fey Sage guarding the demonic Sage Palace. As a result, Zhang Tai wouldn't be able to do that. No matter what, it was a great opportunity. Even if he failed, he could destroy the demon race's plan and save the Thunder City from being destroyed by the demon race. Chapter 2375. Thunder City, the space of the pearl of mountains and rivers. I've finally succeeded. Xia Ping's main body had been cultivating in the space of the pearl of mountains and rivers, continuously nurturing the second clone of the world tree. Today, he finally succeeded. Boom. Immediately, a clone that looked exactly like Xia Ping appeared on the ground. Dense origin source law patterns appeared on the surface of his skin, emitting a powerful aura. His skin and hair were emerald green, full of vitality. It was as if every cell in his body contained countless laws of the world. Fuck, why am I green? Xia Ping looked depressed. He found that his hair seemed to have turned into green weeds. They were lush, as if his head had turned into a boundless grassland that was growing vigorously. However, every single strand of hair on it contained unique world energy, as well as life energy. It was extraordinary. It could be said that this clone of the world tree was extremely powerful, beyond imagination. There was even a vague connection between this clone and the real world tree. It could use a part of the world tree's origin source power at any time. Is this the world tree? Xia Ping closed his eyes and abandoned all other strange emotions. He immersed his mind in the clone of the world tree. At this moment, he seemed to have become an existence like a tray ant. He could easily grasp the various spells of the world tree. He stood on the ground and seemed to be able to feel the breathing of the earth. He could feel the breathing, thoughts, and even emotions of every plant within a range of billions of kilometers. It was as if he was the ruler of all plants at this moment. From the depths of the earth, every plant seemed to be surging with emerald green energy. They turned into countless energy lines and madly surged into every corner of his body. They kept increasing his magic power. It seemed that with every breath, he could devour a large amount of plant power and life power to quickly increase his cultivation. I also have some of the spells of the World Tree? Xia Ping's heart moved. A large amount of information instantly surged into the depths of his sea of consciousness. This was the information of the spells that came from the depths of his bloodline. It was the inheritance stored in the deepest part of his genes. Spell 1, Spring on Withered Trees. As long as he was willing, he could immediately imbue the World Tree's origin source power in his body to promote the growth and maturity of countless plants. He could instantly catalyze the growth of plants within a range of billions of kilometers, ignoring the laws of growth of any plants. In fact, as long as the plant still had a breath left, it could bring the other party back from the brink of death. Moreover, it was not just plants. Even other life forms, energy life forms, flesh life forms, and so on, could use the World Tree's origin energy to save them from a near-death crisis. Divine Ability 2, Eye of Wood. This was a unique eye that came from the World Tree itself. It was a plant's eye of domination. Once activated, all the plants within the range of the World Tree's divine sense could become his eyes. As long as it appeared in the forest, there was no life that could hide from the Eye of Wood. All living things would be exposed before the Eye of Wood. At the same time, the Eye of Wood contained a powerful offensive power. Anyone who was targeted by the Eye of Wood would be turned into a log of wood and their life force would be drained away. Third divine ability, World Touch. This was one of the source powers of the World Tree. It could transform into billions of roots of the World Tree and easily fuse with countless dimensions. Using these dimensions as a foundation, it could absorb huge amounts of energy and strengthen itself. Moreover, these tentacles of the World Tree were formless and invisible. They were formed from the power of the world and the power of spacetime. They could sense the fluctuations of dimensions and fuse with spacetime. Therefore, even ancient sages could not detect the existence of these tentacles. At the same time, the tentacles of the World Tree were extremely long and closely related to the range of the main body's divine sense. They could expand to a range of 400 light-years, instantly enveloping all directions. Therefore, this divine ability was extremely powerful. It could easily penetrate countless restrictions and array formations and explore extremely dangerous places. It was also an extremely powerful assassination technique. It could instantly turn the tentacles into something solid and kill the enemy in the void. Yeah, the Golden Crow of Hell's avatar has sent news. It found news of the demon race. So fast? Xia Ping opened his eyes. Before he could carefully comprehend the power of the World Tree avatar, he immediately received a voice transmission from the Golden Crow of Hell's avatar. At that moment, he already knew about the primordial heavenly dragon talisman and the demon race's plan. The avatar and the main body had a strong mental connection that could cross millions of light-years. It was almost impossible to be separated. Therefore, it was very convenient for both parties to transmit information. With a thought, the information could be transmitted back. To a certain extent, it was even more useful than the Universe Virtual Network at certain special moments. After all, it was very difficult to log into the Universe Virtual Network in Heimu City. Although the demon race could not interfere with the Universe Virtual Network signal, they could detect the signal of logging into the Universe Virtual Network. Once they discovered that someone from the demon race's city was logged into the Universe Virtual Network, they would definitely be surrounded and killed by many demon sages. Among the demon race, logging into the human race's Universe Virtual Network without permission was a serious crime. It seems like this matter cannot be delayed. I have to inform the upper echelons of the human race immediately. Otherwise, if the demon race succeeds, Thunder City will probably be in trouble. At the thought of this, Xia Ping did not hesitate. He immediately logged into the Universe Virtual Network and submitted the information, indicating that he had completed the mission. Rumble. The submission of the mission seemed to have attracted the attention of the upper echelons of the human race, especially the sages of Thunder City. What? Someone actually completed the mission and found out the reason for the demon race's recent strange actions in Heimu City? Is this for real? Who exactly is it? I think he's called Feng Du. He's an immortal sage who just came to Thunder City. It seems very familiar, as if I've heard of it somewhere before. Forget it, Let him come and participate in the Thunder City meeting immediately. Let's see what that kid knows. Indeed, regardless of whether it's true or not, let him come and tell us what exactly is going on. The sages of the Middle Ages discussed spiritedly. Recently, they had been having a headache because of the demon race's movements. They clearly knew that the other party might be plotting something big, but they did not know what exactly it was. Now that someone actually completed the mission of gathering information about the demon race, how could they sit still? At this moment, a mechanical voice entered Xia Ping's sea of consciousness through the absolute beginning chip. Thunder City Lord Purple Thunder Sage invites you to enter the virtual conference room. Do you accept? Xia Ping nodded and immediately clicked accept. With a whoosh, in the next second, his figure was pulled into a universe virtual network room. Chapter 2376. Universe Virtual Network, a meeting room. Xia Ping's silhouette appeared in the meeting room. There were a dozen silhouettes in the seats. They were all the upper echelons of Thunder City. They were all at least in the Middle Ancient realm. Even though this was the virtual network, one could still feel the powerful space-time energy from their auras. It was as though the moment they moved, the mountains would crumble. Purple Thunder Saint. Xia Ping greeted a middle-aged man in the conference center. The man was very tall and had short purple hair. His body exuded the aura of the law of thunder, and there seemed to be an unfathomable law pattern between his eyebrows. It contained the endless aura of the universe origin, and it was unfathomable. Fengdu Saint. Seeing Xia Ping arrive, Purple Thunder Saint immediately said, "I heard that you found information about the monster race. I wonder if this information is true? How true is it, and what is this information about?" He asked impatiently. The other saints also stared at Xia Ping. They were all very concerned about this matter. This information is very important. I need to ensure that there are no spies here who will leak the information. Can you guarantee this? Xia Ping didn't reply. Instead, he looked at Purple Thunder Saint seriously. Fengdu, what do you mean by that? Do you think that there might be spies from the monster race among us? Hearing this, a saint scolded loudly. He stared at Xia Ping with an unfriendly expression. He felt that these words were the most despicable accusation and the greatest insult to them. Hee. Xia Ping laughed. He had no intention of replying. Anyway, in the universe virtual network, no matter how strong these saints were, they wouldn't be able to hurt him. The other saints didn't speak. Their eyes flickered. No one knew what they were thinking. Hee my ass. If you have the guts, say it again. The saint roared in rage. He was getting more and more frustrated. He looked at Xia Ping with an unfriendly gaze. A mere undying saint actually dared to look down on them. Enough. This matter is very important. It's normal for Fengdu's saint to be cautious. At this moment, Purple Thunder Saint said, "How about this? All of you leave. Just me and the Vice City Lord Rain listening saint will be enough." What? The expressions of the surrounding saints changed. They didn't expect the City Lord Purple Thunder Saint to actually listen to Fengdu. However, this was an order from the City Lord. He was also the highest official of Thunder City. They couldn't do anything about such an order. With a swoosh, the figures of the Middle Ancient Sages immediately disappeared from the conference room, leaving only Xia Ping, the Purple Thunder Sage, and the Rain Listener Sage. Now that there are only 3 people left in this conference room, I believe you can tell them the information already. The Purple Thunder Sage looked at Xia Ping. That's right. If this information is leaked, it means that one of you is a demon spy. Xia Ping nodded. When the Purple Thunder Sage and the Rain Listener Sage heard this, their faces turned black. This guy didn't even trust the two of them. They were speechless and didn't know what to say. Don't worry, we're all top echelons of the human clan. We're all loyal and devoted. We won't betray the interests of the human clan. This won't do us any good. The Rain Listener Saint said seriously. Alright, in short, I can only trust you guys now. Xia Ping waved his hand and told them about the primordial heavenly dragon talisman, as well as the demon's plot. I see. After listening, the Purple Thunder Sage's eyes lit up. No wonder I always felt that there was something wrong with the source of the Thunder mainland. From time to time, it would cause strong earthquakes in the Thunder mainland. Previously, I thought it might be caused by a battle between some sages. I didn't expect it to be the primordial heavenly dragon talisman devouring the source of the Thunder mainland. If that group of demon race really succeeds and devours enough source energy, then they will be able to tear apart our Thunder City's defense system and completely destroy our human race's strength. We will no longer be able to compete with the demon race on the Thunder continent. He couldn't help but feel a chill in his heart. If this information wasn't divulged by Fengdu, the Thunder City would be in danger. Perhaps even he, the city lord of the Thunder City, would die under the attack of the demons. After all, this information was too shocking and unbelievable. Even if he racked his brains, he would never have imagined that the demons would spend billions of years to collect more than 2,000 primordial heavenly dragon talismans. This must be one of the trump cards of the demons. Fengdu Sage, this information should be top secret information of the demons. Apart from some of the higher-ups, no one else would know. The Rain Listener Sage looked at Xia Ping with burning eyes. Previously, we also sent many intelligence experts and even used spies hidden in the demons, but we couldn't find any information. How do you know this? He was very curious about the source of Xia Ping's information. This was because even their Thunder City's intelligence system couldn't find any information, but this guy could. It was really unbelievable. This is my secret. There's no reason for me to tell you. Xia Ping said indifferently, this is roughly what the information is like. As for what happens next, it has nothing to do with me. If this information is leaked and the demons find out, it will be your fault. The Rain Listener Saint was infuriated. This guy was really arrogant. The operation had not even begun, but he had already started to shift the blame to them. He even wanted to make them the scapegoat. Well, if there's nothing else, I'll be leaving. I still have something to do. Xia Ping didn't continue to pay attention to him. After saying goodbye, he went offline. Damn, this guy, how can he be so arrogant and look down on everyone? The Rain Listener Sage's face was extremely black. It was as if he was holding a breath in his chest and couldn't let it out. Ahem, capable people are always a little arrogant, Yizichen said. The Purple Thunder Sage smiled. However, this is not the key. The key is how we should face the demon's next plan. This is the most important thing. Hearing this, the Rain Listener Sage's face turned serious. This is indeed a matter of life and death. If we don't destroy the demon's plan as soon as possible, our Thunder City will be finished. Fortunately, this information was sent in time. Otherwise, we would be dead. At this moment, he felt a little lucky. Fortunately, there were countless capable people in the human race who could obtain this crucial information. Otherwise, if it was any later, who knew how many of them would have died? The demons want this plan to succeed, but we won't give them this chance. We must definitely not let their plan succeed. We must immediately launch a war and catch them off guard. The Purple Thunder Sage's eyes emitted dense killing intent. At the same time, we have to arrange a few trusted subordinates to pretend to have completed the mission and say that they know the secret of Heimu City, but the secret is fake. If such news were to spread, I believe that even if the spy knew something, he would be confused and would not be able to make an effective judgment. This would paralyze the nerves of the demons. However, this way we might have temporarily wronged the Fengdu Sage. The Purple Thunder Saint said in a deep voice. It's okay. Talk to him in detail and give him more rewards after the matter is over. I believe he knows the importance of keeping this matter confidential. Ein Listener Saint smiled. Yes, that's the only way. The Purple Thunder Saint nodded. In a secret residence in Thunder City, a Middle Ancient Saint's expression was extremely ugly and solemn. His body emitted an oppressive aura. With a whoosh, a black shadow emerged from the depths of the shadows. What's going on? Why did you suddenly inform me? Don't you know how dangerous it is for me to appear in the human race's Thunder City? If I am discovered by the humans, I will definitely die without a burial site. A black shadow complained. Shut up. Do you think I would inform you if there was nothing important? The Middle Ancient Saint said coldly, Today, I received a piece of news. An undying saint seemed to have found some important information about Hamu City. Unfortunately, that fella seemed to be suspicious of something and chased away most of the Middle Ancient Saints. Only the City Lord Purple Thunder Saint and the Deputy City Lord Rain Listener Saint remained. What? There's such a thing? Didn't they say that the human race's intelligence system was unable to find this information? A mere undying saint was able to find this information? What kind of joke is this? Is that fella boasting? The Black Shadow was shocked. If the Hamus City's plan was really discovered by the human race, it would be disastrous. Perhaps their billions of years of planning would be for naught. The meeting seems to have ended. However, the Fengdu Saint's mission hasn't been displayed. Could it be that the fella's information is fake? The Middle Ancient Saint noticed that the meeting had ended. However, the Fengdu Saint's mission didn't display that it had been completed. Moreover, the information-gathering mission was still there. It might not be fake. It could be a trap. The Black Shadow frowned. The problem is that Hamus City's information is sealed so tightly that even the human intelligence system can't penetrate. How did that puny undying saint find out? Saying that the fella's information is fake and that he's trying to obtain a reward isn't impossible. The Middle Ancient Saint still didn't believe that a mere rogue cultivator's information system could be stronger than the human race's intelligence system. If the demon race's information was so easily leaked, they would have been infiltrated by the human race long ago. We still have to be cautious. If we can capture that Fengdu Saint and interrogate him, we might know if the fella's information is real or fake. The Black Shadow was filled with killing intent. How do we capture him? Stop dreaming. This is Thunder City. There's the universe virtual network everywhere. Even the slightest movement would be known by the City Lord. Don't you dare cause trouble here. It doesn't matter if you die, but don't drag me down. The Middle Ancient Saint said solemnly. He knew how tight the human race's internal security was. There were cameras everywhere. Whoever dared to cause trouble within the city would definitely die. Of course, I'm just saying. I won't do such a suicidal thing. The Black Shadow laughed. However, what you said isn't without reason. Anyway, we have to constantly pay attention to this matter. Otherwise, it will spoil the billions of years of plans of the demon race. Such a thing must not be allowed. The Middle Ancient Saint's eyes gleamed coldly. It's fine if Fengdu stays in Thunder City. However, if he dares to leave Thunder City during this period of time, it will be his death date. His body emitted waves of cold intent. You're right. During this period of time, I will also pay attention to the intelligence system of Thunder City. I want to see if the humans have really discovered anything. No matter what traces there are, I will find them. The Black Shadow finished speaking. With a so, he disappeared from where he was. He seemed to have merged into the void without a sound. Even the Middle Ancient Saint couldn't detect him. Chapter 2378. 3 days later. Be it the Thunder City or Hamu City, both were calm and peaceful, as if nothing had happened. Some of the monster race spies in the Thunder City heaved a sigh of relief. They felt that the human race had not discovered anything, otherwise, it would not be so peaceful. At this time, Xia Ping had finally raised the strength of his second clone, the World Tree clone, to the pinnacle of the sempiternal realm. At the same time, he had also gained a thorough understanding of the clone's mystique and was able to use it freely. It seems like the human race will attack the monster race soon. I need to make preparations in advance. Xia Ping opened his eyes. Although he did not know when the human race would attack Hamu City, it should not take too long. After all, the longer it took, the more disadvantageous it would be for the human race. Therefore, he felt that the war would probably happen in the next few days. Even if it was delayed, it would not be too late. If I want to fish in troubled waters in Hamu City and seize the opportunity to obtain all the ancient heavenly dragon talismans, it is not enough to rely on the Golden Crow of Hell clone. Perhaps I need to send the World Tree clone over to have a greater chance of success. He touched his chin. If the Golden Crow of Hell clone were to stay in Hamu City, it would probably be difficult for it to break through the defenses of the Sacred Beast Temple in Hamu City. Moreover, if it encountered any danger, a clone would not be able to withstand it. However, if the World Tree clone were to arrive in Heimu City, the strength of the World Tree clone would definitely be of great help. In particular, the various mystiques of the World Tree clone were definitely beyond the imagination of the sacred beast. For example, the mystique of the World Tree clone, the touch of the world, could instantly cover an area of 400 light years. This could easily cover the entire Heimu City. This way, no matter what happened in Heimu City, it would not be able to hide from its eyes. It would also have the absolute initiative. If the situation changed, it could act at any time. Alright, then I will send the World Tree clone to Heimu City. Xia Ping immediately made a decision. However, before that, it might need the Golden Crow of Hell clone to leave Heimu City. Then, the two clones would merge and become one. This way, it would be possible to hide from the Eye of Doomsday in Heimu City. Otherwise, the appearance of the World Tree's clone in Heimu City might be noticed by the demon sages. Thinking of this, with a thought, the World Tree doppelganger immediately turned into a young man. His skin was covered with emerald green patterns of the law, and he disappeared from the spot, leaving Thunder City. At the same time, the clone of the Golden Crow of Hell left Heimu City as well. The two of them planned to meet up in a hidden mountain range and merge into one. At this moment, the news of the Golden Crow of Hell's clone leaving Heimu City was immediately discovered by the demons monitoring the surroundings. They immediately returned to report the news. A manor in Heimu City. This was the home of the Starlight Python Leopold. What did you say? That damned crow actually left Heimu City and ventured out to search for treasures? Is this news true? Leopold, the ancient demon saint, couldn't help but widen his eyes in excitement when he heard the news from his subordinates. A look of disbelief appeared in its eyes. It had never imagined that Crow would dare to leave Heimu City at this time. This was simply unimaginable. Under normal circumstances, those who offended him would have to stay in Heimu City to cultivate in seclusion for at least a dozen years. They would only leave Heimu City after he had almost forgotten about this matter. After all the demons in Heimu City knew about Leopold's reputation and terror. Lord Leopold, this news of mine is absolutely true. I witnessed it with my own eyes. I watched him leave Heimu City, and that's why I came back to report. The subordinate swore to the sky that everything he said was true. He had been keeping an eye on Xia Ping and had never let his guard down. This brat is really arrogant. He clearly knows that he has offended me, but he's not afraid at all. It's only been a few days, and he dares to leave Heimu City. Is he really not afraid of death? Or does he have some powerful trump card that even an ancient demon saint like me doesn't care? The ancient demon Saint Leopold's eyes flashed with a hint of coldness. He knew that Crow had left so decisively, which made him a little unhappy. Such an action was simply looking down on the Starlight Python clan, and Crow was looking down on Leopold's ferocity. Lord, don't stoop to his level. That Crow is a native demon. He has never come into contact with demons of the demon race. He's used to acting like a tyrant in the countryside. He doesn't know how powerful and terrifying our Starlight Python clan is. An immortal Starlight Python sneered. It's precisely because of this that this brat is so unscrupulous. He thinks that what we said is just for show. He doesn't take it seriously at all. That's right. Another immortal Starlight Python nodded in agreement. As the saying goes, the ignorant are fearless. This Crow is such a demon. It's not that this brat is courageous, but that he has no knowledge. He's like a frog at the bottom of a well. The strength of our Starlight Python clan is not something this brat can imagine. Lord, you're worried that this brat might have some trump card, but I don't think there's any need to worry. This brat definitely has a trump card, but who doesn't have one or two trump cards in this day and age? Even if this brat is powerful, can he be compared to an ancient demon saint like Lord Leopold? No matter how hard he tries, he can't escape from Lord Leopold's palm. It was dismissive of Xia Ping as it thought that he was just a countryside demon. Even if he had one or two trump cards, he couldn't pose any threat to them. Not bad. You're right. Hearing this, the ancient demon Saint Leopold was very satisfied. It had the same thought. It was just an immortal demon saint, a native demon with no background at all. Even if he was powerful, how powerful could he be? Could he be more powerful than an ancient demon saint who was born in a royal family and had comprehended the law of space? This crow humiliated me in various ways. He even insulted me in public. That's unforgivable. The ancient demon Saint Leopold said with a strong killing intent. If Lord Zaram didn't arrive at that time, this guy would have died thousands of times. How could he be allowed to live for so many days? Let's go and catch up with him. This time, I'm going to kill this crow in the wild. Let's see if this guy dares to talk to me in such an arrogant manner. I want all the demons in Heimu City to know the outcome of offending me. Yes, Lord Leopold. The group of subordinates shouted at the same time. Bush, bush, bush. In the blink of an eye, the ancient demon Saint Leopold left his manor with over 10 immortal demon saints and quickly left Heimu City. Chapter 2379. Thunder Continent, a Mountain Range. Sush. Xia Ping's golden crow of hell clone and the world tree clone flew all the way and finally converged in a valley. Because these two clones were of the same origin, they had the same origin energy, so they could easily fuse together and separate. However, he had a strange feeling as if he was looking at two identical clones. It was as if he was looking at a mirror. However, this feeling only lasted for a moment. Fuse. Without hesitation, Xia Ping made a hand seal with both hands. Immediately, the two clones turned into liquid state and fused with each other, forming a new clone. This clone shared the power of the World Tree and the Golden Crow of Hell. You're finally here? At this moment, Xia Ping raised his eyebrows and turned to look at the void in the distance. With his divine sense, he immediately discovered over a dozen powerful auras that were filled with malice flying over from afar. Clearly, this group of people with bad intentions were Leopold and the other demon overlords. In fact, he had been able to sense the auras of these demon overlords since he left Heimu City. However, in order to meet up with the World Tree clone as soon as possible, he didn't bother with them for the time being. He even sped up in an attempt to get rid of the group of starlight pythons. However, he didn't expect these guys to be so persistent and chase after him. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. In the blink of an eye, Leopold and the other starlight pythons tore through the void and arrived at the valley. They unscrupulously released their powerful demon overlord auras, distorting the void within several light years to show off their power. Crow, how have you been? You didn't expect us to meet so soon in the wild, right? Without Lord Zaram to protect you this time, let's see how you can escape. Leopold laughed out loud as if he had finally caught Xia Ping. At this moment, he was in a very good mood, like a cat catching a mouse. He had the pleasure of playing with a weak enemy. The other 10-odd immortal demon sages immediately spread out and appeared in every corner. They surrounded Xia Ping, not giving him any room to escape. A playful look appeared on their faces. Escape? Do I need to escape to deal with you guys? That's ridiculous. If the ancient demon overlord hadn't suddenly appeared, you would have died many times. You can't even tell the difference in strength. Are you trying to make me laugh to death? Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back. What the hell are you laughing at? Who do you think you are? How dare you speak to Lord Leopold like that? If you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Before Leopold could say anything, an immortal demon sage beside him became angry. As the saying went, if the master was humiliated, the servant would die. How could it tolerate such humiliation from Wu? Slapping Leopold's face was equivalent to slapping its face. As soon as it finished speaking, it instantly moved, transforming into a giant python that was thousands of miles long. Countless starlight spots appeared on its snakeskin, emitting a tyrannical star aura and a fierce aura. It pounced towards Xia Ping with its mouth wide open. It was incomparably ferocious, as if it could even swallow a planet. But it was at this moment that Xia Ping made his move. He took a step forward and punched out. In an instant, this punch shook the heavens and the earth, caused the stars to fall, and twisted the universe and shook time and space. It was as if the energy of heaven and earth within a radius of hundreds of millions of kilometers was boiling and forming a vortex. This punch was incomparably ferocious. In an instant, it bombarded the body of the immortal starlight python. In an instant, the huge body of the immortal starlight python was smashed into pieces and turned into a mass of meat paste. It basically couldn't even block it. This was a destructive force. Ah! The immortal starlight python let out a shrill scream and was smashed into pieces on the spot. Even its soul was severely injured. Impossible! The other immortal starlight pythons widened their eyes and their pupils constricted. They simply couldn't believe it. The dignified immortal demon sage, which was also a famous royal starlight python of the demon race, couldn't withstand a punch from this guy and was instantly smashed into pieces. What kind of terrifying force did this punch contain? Damn bastard, you're courting death! Leopold, the ancient demon sage, shouted angrily. His eyes were wide open. Seeing that his subordinate was seriously injured, he couldn't stand the arrogance of this guy in front of him. Boom! In an instant, the space domain on his body spread out for 5 light years. At this moment, it was as if the whole world was covered by countless stars. Billions of starlight spots appeared everywhere. At the same time, these stars emitted powerful star power. The void seemed to have condensed into a terrifying gravity, which made the creatures in this star domain feel great pressure and almost couldn't move. He wanted to use his star domain to crush this guy into meat paste in an instant. Supernatural power, touch of the world. Xia Ping was unmoved. He activated the supreme supernatural power of the world tree in his body. Whoosh! In an instant, with his body as the center, billions of roots of the world tree appeared within a radius of 400 light years. It was like a man-eating flower in full bloom. These roots of the world tree were also extremely thick. Each of them was hundreds of light years long. They were like primordial heavenly dragons. Dense nomological origin patterns appeared on them. What? Leopold suddenly felt endless pressure. This was because the world tree had completely bloomed. It had reached 400 light years, far exceeding his space domain. This was like a small house that was barely able to accommodate a stone giant that was more than 10 meters tall. It was as if the house was about to explode. He felt the same feeling in his space domain. It felt as if his body and soul were about to explode. He couldn't control this guy in front of him at all. Kill! Xia Ping waved his hand lightly. The world tree's billions of roots danced like primordial pythons. They also seemed like primordial dragons. They also seemed like god-slaying spears. The dozen or so sempiternal realm star light pythons didn't know what was happening. Their bodies were instantly pierced by the roots. Their chests exploded, and blood spurted out like there was no tomorrow. They all let out miserable screams. Even Leopold, who was an ancient demon saint, couldn't withstand it. Even though he was hiding in the depths of the dimension, the world tree's roots ignored all spatial barriers and directly reached his body. With a loud boom, Leopold was instantly pierced through. His body was riddled with holes, and his blood flowed like a river. Intense pain came from his body. It felt as if every nerve in his body was being pricked. He had never been in such a miserable state in his life. Everyone, don't be afraid of him. Fight him to the death. We have undying bodies and are unkillable existences. He can't do anything to us. An undying starlight python roared angrily. Even though his chest was pierced by the world tree's roots and he was dripping with blood, he was still extremely valiant. It seemed as if this kind of injury had stimulated the starlight python's ferocious nature. Chapter 2380. Sush. Before the immortal starlight python could finish speaking, Xia Ping flicked his finger and a wisp of dark golden infernal golden crow flame shot out and instantly pierced the immortal starlight python's forehead. The immortal starlight python was instantly dumbfounded because the speed of the attack was too fast. Even with its dynamic vision and divine sense, it could only perceive a dark golden light flashing past. It was like a meteor in the sky, flashing and disappearing. In the next second, when the dark golden light disappeared, it sensed that its forehead had been easily pierced through. Moreover, this wisp of flame was filled with a destructive aura. It was like maggots attached to bones, spreading to the depths of its soul. With a loud boom, its huge body fell to the ground, creating a huge crack. All the gravel, rocks, and even the mountains were shattered into pieces. Its soul was immediately destroyed. It was killed just like that, by Xia Ping's hands. Impossible, I don't believe it. What kind of attack is that? How could it kill an immortal demon sage in one strike? What kind of monster are you? What kind of power is that? Even an immortal demon sage couldn't resist it? The surrounding immortal starlight pythons, including Leopold, were completely dumbfounded. They couldn't believe their eyes. That was a peak immortal demon sage with an immortal body. However, with just a single strike, he had actually been killed, and even his soul had been completely obliterated. Even if a beast saint from ancient times wanted to kill a beast saint at the peak of immortal realm, it couldn't be that easy. However, such an unbelievable scene had happened in front of them. You can ask King Yama about this question after you die. Perhaps he can answer you. Xia Ping stood in the void, exuding endless killing intent. He had no obligation to explain anything to these demon sages. Since they were enemies, there was only one answer, and that was to kill them. Retreat, retreat quickly. This crow is too terrifying. Even Lord Leopold isn't a match for him. We can't continue fighting. Otherwise, we will definitely die. Many of us will be injured or killed. Damn crow, just you wait. The Starlight Python tribe won't let you go. You won't have a good time. One by one, the undying Starlight Pythons started retreating. They were both shocked and furious. Although they could not kill Crow, Crow could easily kill them. But this way, there was no way to fight this battle at all. If they continued to fight, they would only suffer heavy losses, so they immediately thought of retreating. There was no need to stay here to die. Trying to escape? Did you ask me? However, before these immortal starlight pythons could move, Xia Ping lightly flicked his finger, and a terrifying infernal golden crow flame surged out of his body. In an instant, the infernal golden crow flame turned into thousands of flowing lights. Each stream of light contained a powerful law power. Before these immortal starlight pythons could even take a step forward, the infernal golden crow's flame condensed into a dark golden light and pierced through their skulls, leaving thousands of holes in them. At the same time, the power of the golden crow inferno exploded in their bodies, instantly burning their souls. Their eyes widened as if they couldn't believe that they had died just like that. These immortal starlight pythons were all dead, not a single one alive. Their massive bodies were like mountains as they fell from the sky, smashing out massive craters. The surrounding air was filled with a thick smell of blood, as if the valley had turned into a sea of blood. Damn it! The demonic Saint Leopold was both shocked and angry. His eyes widened as he watched his elite subordinates die one by one. However, he could do nothing. There was nothing he could do. There was nothing he could do. Leopold, it's your turn. Go down and accompany your subordinates. Xia Ping stood in the void with his hands behind his back, looking at Leopold. How dare you? Leopold shouted angrily, I am a direct descendant of the Starlight Python royal clan. I have a high status and am one of the successors of the Starlight Python clan. If you dare to kill me, the entire Starlight Python clan will be your enemy. There will be no place for you in the demon clan's territory. If you dare to touch a hair of mine, I will make you regret it for the rest of your life. It tried to use its background to intimidate this lawless fellow with a stern voice and a stern countenance. It's none of my business. If you have the guts, ask your Starlight Python old ancestor to bite me. Xia Ping didn't waste any time. He punched the void, condensing the power of the golden crow inferno. It was as if a sun had risen from his back. Endless heat and light bloomed in the surroundings, piercing through the void and burning everything. With a bang, before the ancient demon Saint Leopold could react, his head was instantly blown up and turned into a mass of minced meat. Blood sprayed out as if it was free. The infernal golden crow's flames burned its soul. In just a breath's time, the soul let out a shrill scream in the flames and died in unbearable pain. Ancient demon Saint Leopold was dead. At this point, all the Starlight Pythons that came to kill Xia Ping had been slaughtered. These are all good treasures. I can't waste them. Xia Ping waved his hand and stored all the Starlight Python's corpses in his space ring. After all, Every inch of flesh and blood of an immortal demon body contained a huge amount of energy, like the essence of heaven and earth. It was a pity that his world tree clone couldn't devour the corpses of these demon sages to condense the immortal fruit and space fruit. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a problem for him to devour all the flesh and blood. He could only regret that even though his clone had inherited the bloodline of the world tree, it didn't have 100% of the world tree's power. It only had a part of it. However, just a part of its power was enough to make all living beings in the world jealous. Alright, it's time to go back. Xia Ping's divine senses spread out to a radius of 400 light years. He sensed that there seemed to be many sages rushing over from the void in the distance. His killing of Leopold and the other demon sages should have caused a huge commotion between heaven and earth. Therefore, such a battle also attracted the attention of many nearby sages. In order to avoid unnecessary trouble, it was not suitable for him to continue staying here. Swoosh! In the next second, Xia Ping's figure flashed, and a pair of dark golden wings grew on his back. The wings easily merged with the void, flapping continuously as he quickly returned to Heimu City. It was very easy for him to return to Heimu City. After all, he had already obtained the demon's sacred temple's token. He could be considered a member of the demon race, so the interrogation would not be very strict. Therefore, he returned to Heimu City without any trouble, without any demon race sage making things difficult for him. Chapter 2381. A few days later, in a manor in Heimu City. Xia Ping returned to Heimu City, safe and sound. Brother Wu, are you alright? Why did you suddenly leave Heimu City? I heard that Leopold was looking for you everywhere, Brodry immediately asked after returning to the manor. I'm fine. I just wanted to go out and relax. Xia Ping said carelessly. Relax. Hearing this, the corner of Brodry's mouth twitched. Just how bold is this guy? He knows that a demon saint from ancient times is staring at him and wants his life, but he still wants to go out of the city to relax. He didn't know what to say about this suicidal behavior. But you look fine. You didn't meet Leopold and the others when you left the city, right? Brodry asked. I didn't. Xia Ping blinked his eyes. It's good that you didn't meet him. Remember not to casually leave the city. Leopold is a very cruel and vengeful person. He won't show any mercy to you. Brodry nodded. He didn't doubt Xia Ping's words. If he really did meet Leopold, he wouldn't be able to come back unscathed. Even if he didn't die, he would probably lose a layer of skin. Xia Ping smiled and didn't say anything. If Brodry knew that Leopold was killed by him, he would probably be so scared that his eyes would pop out. After talking with Brodry, he returned to his room. Boom! Xia Ping sat on the ground and immediately used the magical ability of the world tree, Touch of the World. Instantly, hundreds of millions of roots of the world tree grew from his body and penetrated in all directions, covering a distance of 400 light-years in an instant. Even the entire Heimu City wasn't as big as 400 light-years. It could be said that this coverage was far beyond the range that Heimu City could accommodate. Bush. The roots of the world tree extended in all directions and easily crossed the countless restrictive formations of Heimu City, as if they were independent of the dimension. No demon saint could detect the existence of the touch of the world. Even the various restrictive formations of Heimu City were not touched. With the help of the hundreds of millions of roots of the world tree, Xia Ping seemed to have hundreds of millions of eyes that penetrated every corner of Heimu City. This is the Demon Saint Temple? With a thought, Xia Ping sent the tentacles of the world into the demonic temple in Heimu City. The demonic saint temple, which was originally heavily guarded with all kinds of space-time formations, was now invaded by the roots of the world tree, as if it had entered an uninhabited land. As expected of the sacred demon temple of Heimu City, the most tightly guarded place in the entire city. It is indeed extraordinary. Xia Ping could sense that there were a total of 18,000 space-time formations set up in the depths of the demon saint temple. Once an enemy invaded, they could instantly stop the space-time here, and all the enemies would fall into a state of time standstill. At that time, the enemy would be the monkey in Tathagata Buddha's hand, with nowhere to hide. He was also glad that he did not act rashly. Otherwise, if he had rashly entered the Demon Saint Temple, he would have definitely died. Furthermore, there were powerful near-primordial demon saints hidden in every corner of the Demon Saint Temple. There were even primordial demon saints at the key points of the formation. Basically, the high-end combat power of Haemus City had appeared in this place. It seems like I have to wait for the right time if I want to snatch these primordial heavenly dragon talismans. If I act rashly now, I will definitely be killed. Xia Ping touched his chin. Although the roots of the world tree on his body were extremely hidden, and even the primordial demon saints could not detect them with their space-time domain, they were still in a state of nothingness. If the roots of the world tree solidified and turned from nothingness to reality, the primordial demon saints would immediately notice something fishy. By then, he would probably be surrounded and beaten up by a group of primordial demon saints. Therefore, he was not anxious at all, and was waiting for the right time to come. At the same time, Xia Ping's main body was also cultivating peacefully in Thunder City, slowly nurturing the third doppelganger. A few days later, in the Thunder City's City Lord residence, the City Lord Purple Thunder Sage and the Deputy City Lord Rain Listening Sage were gathered here with solemn expressions. The time has finally come. The Purple Thunder Sage's eyes lit up. These few days, I have secretly returned to the headquarters to discuss this matter with the patriarchs. They also know the seriousness of this matter and promise to give us great support. Great support? Are we going to send an primordial demon saint over? The Rain Listening Sage could not help but ask. How is that possible? The Purple Thunder Sage sneered. What kind of people are the primordial demon saints? They are considered important, and they are the big shots that guard a region. Every primordial demon saint has their own missions to carry out, and they will not be dispatched easily. Why would they come to a small place like the Thunder Sea region? Moreover, if an primordial demon saint were to make a move, it would definitely not be hidden from the demon race. By then, the demon race might also send an primordial demon saint over, and things would get out of hand. If two primordial demon saints were to fight on the Thunder Continent, I'm afraid that this sea region will be plunged into misery and suffering. Therefore, the patriarchs have instructed us to fight this war, and we must make the demon race feel pain, and they will not dare to jump again. However, we cannot go overboard either. After all, our enemy is still the abyss. But how can we fight without reinforcements? With our strength, even if we want to attack Haemus City, we will have to pay a heavy price. This is not worth the loss. The Rain Listening Sage frowned. Don't worry. Although they did not promise to increase the military strength of the Thunder City, they promised to temporarily give me a peerless sacred artifact, the Immortal Monument, as the power to tear Haemus City apart. The Purple Thunder Sage grabbed with his hand and immediately took out a palm-sized black monument. The black monument was engraved with dense and mysterious restrictions. Every word and stroke seemed to be lines of origin source law. When the countless words were stacked together, they seemed to form pages of immortal scriptures. It was as if these immortal scriptures represented the laws of the universe and the great Tao of heaven and earth. Even though they were Middle Ancient sages, the moment they saw the black monument, they felt their space-time domain being greatly suppressed. It was as if the space-time had been completely suppressed, and no power or the laws of heaven and earth could operate. It can't be. Isn't this the peerless sacred artifact, the immortal ancestors' immortal monument? It is rumored that this peerless sacred artifact has the power to suppress the 8 Desolaces and pierce through the universe. The patriarchs are actually willing to give this treasure to you? The Rain Listening Sage was so shocked that his eyeballs almost popped out. It is only temporarily given to me. After this war is over, I will have to return it. However, it is also a rare experience to try out the power of the peerless sacred artifact. Who knows, I might be able to comprehend a deeper level of the laws and find a way to break through to the ancient sage realm. The Purple Thunder Sage's eyes shone brightly. However, let's not talk too much. Immediately gather all the sages in the Thunder City and send troops to Haemus City. This time, we must make the demon race suffer. All right. The Rain Listening Sage nodded and immediately issued the war gathering order. Chapter 2382. Dang dang dang. At this moment, the entire Thunder City resounded with the sound of a huge bell. It came from the depths of the city lord's mansion, forming waves of rhythmic sound waves that spread in all directions, reaching every corner of the Thunder City, allowing every saint to hear it clearly. What's going on? Could this bell be the war horn? Some of the sages heard the sound of the bell and immediately jumped up in shock. That's right, this is definitely the war horn. Once the war horn is heard, the human race will start a forced conscription. Any sage, no matter what they are doing, will have to join the army and fight. If they dare to disobey, they will be punished with a heavy crime and be imprisoned in the demon-subduing pagoda for 10 billion years. A sage's eyes were filled with awe. The human race had protected many sages and provided them with endless benefits. Naturally, they had their duties. The most important duty was the voluntary conscription. Once a war for the survival of the human race broke out, all sages had to accept the conscription unconditionally. Otherwise, they would be guilty of betraying the human race and would face a miserable fate. How many years has it been since the war horn was heard? What is happening? Are we going to start a war with the other peak races? Some sages were confused and had no idea what was happening. Don't worry so much. Gather at the plaza of the Thunder City immediately. If we are late, we will be punished by the military. Some sages said immediately. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. In every corner of the Thunder City, countless sages, regardless of what they were doing, gathered at the plaza in the center of the Thunder City. Is it finally starting? Xia Ping, who was originally in a state of cultivation, also opened his eyes, revealing a glimmer of light. After waiting for an entire week, he had finally waited for the moment of war between the human clan and the demon clan. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so he naturally would not miss it. With a swoosh, he left his villa and headed towards the central plaza of the Thunder City. In a villa somewhere in the Thunder City. Damn it! One of the medieval saints had a gloomy expression. He had also heard the sound of the war horn. The humans must have discovered something and found out about Hymus City's scheme. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made such a big fuss. We must immediately spread this news and let Hymus City prepare in advance. Otherwise, Hymus City will definitely suffer a great loss against the human race who are fully prepared. I've said it long ago. There's something wrong with the human race. There's something wrong with that purple thunder sage. Otherwise, how could he have been so calm earlier on? He's clearly trying to numb our nerves. A black shadow jumped out and cursed loudly. It knew that it had been tricked this time. It was deceived by the calm aura of the human race, causing it to lose the initiative. Cut the crap. Leave Thunder City immediately and send this news back to Hymus City. This way, Hymus City will be prepared. The middle ancient saint roared. But before he could finish speaking, his expression suddenly changed, and his hair stood on end. It was as if he felt the impending danger of death, and all the cells in his body were warning him. Buzz, at this moment, a huge black stone tablet appeared in the sky. It stood tall like a towering mountain. From the depths of this black stone tablet, thousands of black scriptures surged out. These scriptures formed a terrifying restrictive array formation that instantly sealed off this space. Any power was sealed, and no heaven and earth yuan qi could be mobilized. Supreme sacred weapon, immortal tablet. Run, run quickly. We are no match for it. The middle ancient saint screamed like a hen that had its neck grabbed. There were no words to describe the fear he felt when he saw the black stone tablet in the sky. He knew that he was no match for this supreme sacred weapon, immortal tablet. The difference between them was too great. No. Spare me, spare me. I have important information to report. I have important information to report. The middle ancient saint struggled on his deathbed, trying to use information to exchange for his life. There's no need to report. Traitor, die. A voice was heard. It was like thunder and resounded through the void. It was as if the thunder god was roaring from the 9 heavens. As soon as the voice finished speaking, the black stone tablet in the sky came crashing down. It was as if the sky had collapsed, and the universe had collapsed. All the laws of time and space were shattered. Boom! With just one strike, the villa, the middle ancient saint, and the black shadow were all shattered. Not only his soul, but every single particle of the magic treasures on his body was completely destroyed. A black hole appeared on the ground of the villa. It was as if this area had been erased by the gods. Nothing could exist in this area. With a swoosh, two figures appeared in the sky. They were the Purple Thunder Saint and the Rain Listener Saint. He actually dared to inform the demon race. We didn't touch this guy before because we weren't confident. We were afraid that the battle between the Middle Ancient Saints would destroy the Thunder City. I didn't expect this guy to take it seriously and think that we humans can't find him. However, there is a reason for him to be so arrogant. The power of the Middle Ages Saint is enough for him to come and go as he pleases in the Thunder City. However, with this peerless grade sacred weapon, the Immortal Monument, the Middle Ages Saint is nothing to me. The Purple Thunder Saint said indifferently. He didn't care about it at all. As expected of the supreme sacred weapon, Immortal Tablet. Its power is horrifying. With just one strike, all spacetime is destroyed and all matter is obliterated. It's really shocking. The Rain Listener Saint was full of praise. He also coveted the power of the supreme sacred weapon. However, it was too difficult to obtain it. Every single one of them was a treasure of the clan. They wouldn't easily fall into the hands of other saints. It's a pity that he was a middle ancient saint of our human race. It wasn't easy to nurture him. Why did he choose to be a dog instead of a human? I really don't understand. The Rain Listener Saint sighed. There might be a reason. Maybe his relatives were kidnapped and threatened. Or maybe he was tempted. However, I don't care what the reason is. Betrayal is betrayal. Anyone who dares to betray the human race must die. The Purple Thunder Saint didn't want to care about the reason behind it. He didn't need to. He only needed to know that the other party betrayed the human race. This was a crime punishable by death. That was enough. Alright, this matter is over. I don't think there are any high-level demon race spies. We can send troops to Hames City in peace. The Rain Listener Saint nodded. He agreed with the words of the Purple Thunder Saint. The reason for the other party's betrayal wasn't important. As long as it was a betrayal, it was a crime punishable by death. No matter how pitiful the reason was, there was no need to care about it. Let's go. This time, Hames City must pay the price. I want to see what kind of abilities those bastards of the demon race can bring out. The Purple Thunder Saint's eyes revealed a terrifying cold light. So. After saying these words, the two Middle Ancient Saints left and headed to the central plaza of the Thunder City. They immediately mobilized the army and attacked the Hames City of the demon race. Chapter 2383. At an altar in the depths of the sacred demon palace in Hames City. More than a dozen sacred demons of the Middle Ages gathered here, constantly absorbing the origin energy emitted by the ancient heavenly dragon talismans and the Thunderbolt mainland's origin energy. This energy was very beneficial to them, and it was no less than taking longevity elixirs and other sacred elixirs. Moreover, cultivating here would greatly benefit them in comprehending the laws of the universe. It's almost time. There's still more than 10 days before these 2,900 primordial heavenly dragon talismans finish devouring the origin's energy and reach their peak condition. At that time, they will unleash a thunderous strike and the human race's Thunder City will be finished. The one who spoke was Patrick, the city lord of Hames City. He was a terrifying sacred demon at the peak of the Middle Ages realm. At this moment, his eyes were filled with unconcealable excitement. Once this plan was completed, he would immediately gain great merits and be rewarded by the clan. It would not be impossible for him to advance to the ancient demon saint realm. This matter was of great importance and was related to his advancement in the future. Naturally, he was extremely concerned about it and would spare no effort. Haha, those humans probably didn't expect us to have such a trump card even in death. There shouldn't be any movements from the humans these days. The more critical the moment, the more I worry about failure. What's there to be afraid of? It's such a waste to grow so tall. Strangers don't have guts. How could there be any movements now? They won't be able to discover anything. That's true. We've spent a lot of effort to keep this a secret. If the humans can still find anything, then we should all commit seppuku. The sacred demons of the Middle Ages casually discussed with a relaxed attitude. They felt that this matter was already in their grasp and that there was no possibility of failure. Oh no, guys, this is not good. Right at this moment, the medieval demonic sage Zaram suddenly broke in from outside. He looked flustered and anxious as if he had encountered an imminent catastrophe. Zaram, what's wrong? Look at how flustered you are. How improper. Do you still have the demeanor of a primordial demon saint? What exactly is it that has scared you to this state? City Lord Patrick was very dissatisfied with Zaram's behavior. No, Castellan, humans have already dispatched their army towards Heimu City. They're going to have a life and death battle with us. They're already less than 1 light year away from Heimu City. Zaram, the medieval demonic saint, shouted. That's right, Castellan. It's not like that. What? Upon hearing this, the dozen or so demon saints of the Middle Ages were all shocked. They were all shocked by this sudden news and almost couldn't believe it. How is this possible? Did that group of monster spies eat shit? It's such a big thing, yet the humans mobilized their armies, yet none of them sent any news back. What the hell are they doing? City Lord Patrick bellowed angrily. He was both shocked and enraged. To think that news would only be reported a light year away from Heimu City. Wasn't this the same as discovering the situation only after the enemy came knocking on his door? For a demon saint, a distance of 1 light year was simply within reach. Our spies have probably been discovered by the humans. They've either been captured or killed. That's why they can't send any messages back. In short, we're in big trouble now. Zaram's face turned very ugly. That's strange. Why did the humans suddenly attack our Heimu City? Over the past years, the two races have been living in harmony. Has our plan been leaked? Randolph, the deputy castellan, asked with a gloomy face. He looked at the dozen or so demon saints of the Middle Ages with a dubious look. He felt that there might be a spy among them who leaked the news and aroused the humans' attack. After hearing Randolph's words, the dozen or so demon saints of the Middle Ages were shocked and doubtful. If the plan of Heimu City had not been leaked, the humans would never launch such a big attack. The problem was that they thought that this operation was extremely confidential and all the demon saints of the Middle Ages were loyal to the demons. Even so, this news was still leaked. Didn't it mean that the humans' means were all-pervasive? How could a demon saint of the Middle Ages be a traitor of the demons? In an instant, they felt that any one of them might be a spy. However, none of them dared to say it out loud. After all, once they did, it might lead to a war. Now that the humans were attacking the demons, it was a moment of life and death. If they said it out loud, wouldn't they be throwing themselves into confusion and digging their own graves? Even if they were looking for a spy, this was not the time. Enough. Don't make unnecessary guesses. City Lord Patrick was sensitive enough to sense the seriousness of this matter. He also suspected that some of them might be spies. However, considering the overall situation, he didn't want to expose the contradiction at this moment. All in all, no matter why the humans attacked our Heimu City, if those bastards dare to come, they will all die in Heimu City. Our Heimu City is not to be trifled with. He harumphed coldly as his body revealed a dense killing intent. Upon hearing this, the Middle Ages demon sage couldn't help but nod in agreement. That was indeed the case. Regardless of the reason why the humans attacked Heimu City, the Middle Ages demon sage couldn't help but agree. No matter what the humans' reason for attacking Heimu City was, the fact that Heimu City was able to stand for such a long time in the Thunder Continent was enough to prove how powerful Heimu City was. It wasn't something that could be breached by any race. Over the countless years, a large number of demon sages had set up hundreds of millions of large arrays in Heimu City. If all of them were to be unleashed at once, it would be enough to cause the humans to suffer and even suffer heavy losses. They're here. The sages of the humans are here. That's the City Lord of Thunder City, the Purple Thunder Sage, and the Deputy City Lord, the Rain Listener Sage. These two fellows are so arrogant. They actually dare to be the vanguard and clamor in my Hamu city. Deputy City Lord Randolph immediately sensed the abnormality in the sky above Hamu city. He was shocked to find that 2 human sages at the peak of the Middle Ages had appeared in Hamu city and were looking down from above. Moreover, the human army hadn't arrived yet. These 2 were merely the vanguard. Immediately, they were shocked and angry. As the commander of the humans, the City Lord of Thunder City, a person of extremely high status, he actually didn't hide in the rear to command the battle. Instead, he personally went to the front line. How much did he look down on them, the demon sages? Damn it, what's that thing in the purple Thunder Sage's hand? Why is it emitting a heart-palpitating aura? Suddenly, City Lord Patrick noticed a black stone tablet in the purple Thunder Sage's hand. It seemed to be covered with all kinds of forbidden seals, causing one's heart to palpitate. That's the peerless sacred weapon, the immortal monument, in the hands of the human race's patriarch. Bastards, those humans actually ran back to borrow a peerless sacred weapon. They're trying to destroy my Hamu city. Those despicable humans, how dare they? How dare they do such a thing? Aren't they afraid of causing a war between the humans and the demon race? Deputy City Lord Randolph was shocked and angry. His face was pale and terrified. He immediately recognized the treasure in the purple Thunder Sage's hand. It was the clan's treasure, the peerless sacred weapon, the immortal monument. Chapter 2384. It was the peerless sacred artifact, the immortal monument. This was the shadow of a person's name. Once upon a time, this peerless saint artifact had established an illustrious reputation among the various races. It had killed who knew how many demons and saints from the abyss had been killed by it. Beneath the monument were the white bones of the sages from the various races. To a certain extent, the power unleashed by the immortal monument could even be compared to the primordial heavenly dragon talisman. Furthermore, it was at its peak. The problem was that the 2,900 ancient heavenly dragon talismans they had were not considered peerless sacred artifacts. After all, they were not perfected. There was still a huge gap between them and a real peerless sacred artifact, let alone the immortal monument at its peak. But now, those lowly humans were actually so shameless as to personally bring out this supreme magic treasure. Clearly, they were here to destroy the entire Hema city. Their intentions were damnable. Activate the restrictive arrays. Immediately activate the 180 million demon clan gods sealing arrays in Hamu city. We must stop this guy from using the peerless sacred artifact, the immortal monument. Otherwise, we will all be doomed. City Lord Patrick roared anxiously. He ordered anxiously and tried to activate all the restrictive arrays in Hamu city. Although there were many restrictive arrays in Hamu city, they were usually only activated for defense. Only during times of war would all the restrictive arrays be activated. After all, if they were activated normally, it would consume too much energy. Even with Hamu city's wealth, it would not be able to withstand such consumption. Unfortunately, it was too late. The Purple Thunder Sage and the Rain Listener Sage had abandoned their armies and gone to Hamu city alone to catch the demons off guard. They would not give them a chance. The Purple Thunder Sage raised the immortal monument and threw it out. Immediately, the black immortal monument flew into the air and expanded rapidly. It turned into a huge black monument that was hundreds of thousands of kilometers long, suppressing the universe. It was extremely domineering. It fell from the sky and smashed into Hamu city. No, no, no! City Lord Patrick and the other demon sages screamed in shock and anger. But even if they wanted to help, it was already too late. In the sky above Hamu city, thousands of restrictive arrays flickered. Layers of energy barriers stacked on top of each other, forming a powerful and thick spatial barrier. However, this was completely useless. The immortal monument fell, as if a group of stars were falling, a deity descending. Boom! In an instant, all the restrictive formations in the sky above Hamu city were torn apart like they were made of paper. All the restrictive formations were destroyed in an instant. At that moment, Hamu city was shaking. It was as though an earthquake with a magnitude of over 10 had occurred. The space within a radius of hundreds of millions of li shook violently, giving rise to an aura of destruction. Layers of condensed energy fluctuations spread out in all directions with Heimu City as the center. It was like a black mushroom cloud surging into the sky. Even the entire city seemed to be torn apart by this powerful shockwave. All of the restrictive formations were destroyed by this extremely brutal power and completely shattered. Dense cracks appeared on the ground, and a large number of buildings were reduced to dust at this moment. Countless demons were shaken into a mist of blood in that second. A gigantic black monument smashed into the ground, crashing into a corner of Heimu City. The surrounding buildings were completely destroyed as though a nuclear explosion had taken place. Ah, Purple Thunder old dog, you're courting death. You're courting death. How dare you destroy my Heimu City? I'm going to slaughter all 18 generations of your ancestors. City Lord Patrick's eyes were wide open and his heart was bleeding. Heimu City, which he had painstakingly managed for countless years, was almost completely destroyed at this moment. Even if they won this battle, Heimu City would suffer heavy losses that could not be compensated for. One could imagine how furious it was right now. It could not be described with words. He could not control the anger in his heart at all. He instantly flew out of the altar and charged into the sky above Heimu City, trying to stop the Purple Thunder Sage and the Rain Listener Sage's next move. If the two medieval sages were to start a massacre in Heimu City, there would probably not be many sages left in Heimu City. This would be a huge blow to the demon race. Attack! We can't let this group of human sages behave atrociously in Heimu City. Kill these two old dogs. How dare they destroy Heimu City to such an extent? This hatred is absolutely irreconcilable. We haven't even found trouble with the Thunder City of the human race, but the human race actually came to find trouble with us. Damn it. We must kill them this time and destroy them completely. But what about the altar? There are still a large number of primordial heavenly dragon talismans here. Do we need to send people to guard it? Moreover, this is a crucial moment. No need. This is the deepest part of the demon divine temple. There are powerful space-time restraining formations everywhere. Even the medieval sages would not be able to enter easily. This is the safest area for anyone who can enter. That's right. Cut the crap. Everyone, rush out and kill all these human sages. Otherwise, the entire Heimu City will be destroyed. What's the use of the following plan then? The ancient demon sages were both shocked and furious. They felt a burning pain on their faces. Before they could even make a move, these old dogs of the human race had actually come to their doorstep and taught Heimu City such a painful lesson. If they did not kill all these human sages, they would lose face. They did not waste any time and immediately followed City Lord Patrick out of the Demon Divine Temple. They flew towards the sky above Heimu City and attempted to surround Purple Thunder Sage and Rain Listener Sage. However, at this time, the medieval sages of the human race finally arrived. They were evenly matched. Patrick, this move is not bad, right? How does it feel to see Heimu City destroyed? You actually dared to plot against the Thunder City of the human race. How dare you? Previously, you thought that you were very good at keeping secrets. Little did you know that the demon race has long been infiltrated by the human race. Nothing can be hidden. City Lord Purple Thunder Sage laughed with a treacherous look on his face. Although he did not know how the Sage of Fengdu had obtained the information, he did not mind causing trouble for the demon race at this moment. He might even deliberately mislead them so that they would panic and think that he was surrounded by spies. Just this sentence alone made the faces of many medieval demon sages turn ugly. It was as if they had eaten feces. This was because these words had indeed poked at their sore spot and made them suspicious. Cut the crap. How dare you come to Heimu City and behave atrociously? All of you will die. City Lord Patrick would not let this cunning bastard continue. If he said a few more words, their morale would collapse. Then what was the point of fighting? They might as well just surrender. Chapter 2385. Heimu City, a manor. Xia Ping's world tree's roots covered the entire Heimu City. He naturally knew the current situation. the entire Heimu city's defenses had been destroyed by the Purple Thunder Sage's attack. The peerless sacred artifact, the immortal monument, had fallen into the city and landed quietly in a deep pit. It seemed that the previous attack had depleted the immortal monument's power. Even so, its body emitted a faint divine might. Even sages did not dare to approach it casually. This was because they all knew that this peerless sacred artifact was the life treasure controlled by the human race patriarch. With a single thought from the human race patriarch, it would immediately break through the void and return to his hand. This treasure was probably lent to the Purple Thunder Sage temporarily, but it could not be used many times. Therefore, even though the immortal monument seemed to have depleted its power, no sage dared to approach it. They finally started fighting. Xia Ping did not continue to care about the immortal monument. He knew that this treasure could not be moved recklessly. Otherwise, it would definitely be discovered by the human race patriarch. He looked up into the sky. At this moment, almost all the sages of Heimu City and Thunder City had gathered together. Both sides did not waste any time and started fighting the moment they met. Waves of space-time domains collided with each other, producing a terrifying destructive aura. It was as though anything within the range of this space-time domain would be destroyed. It seemed as though all the laws of time and space in this region had lost their effectiveness and turned into a chaotic state. In order not to destroy the entire Heimu city, the city Lord Patrick and the other sages avoided fighting in this place. They immediately rose into the sky and left the city, moving the battlefield to another place. After all, the battles of the sages were terrifying in the past. The suppression of the space-time domain was enough to distort space-time. Most matter would be destroyed by this power. Even some undying sages and near-ancient sages would be severely injured when they came into contact with this power. In serious cases, they might even turn into ashes and cease to exist. A good chance. Xia Ping's eyes lit up. He could sense that all the sages in the depths of the Demon Saint Hall had left in order to deal with the threat of the human race army. In fact, they had no choice but to leave. If they did not have a sage, they would probably be at a complete disadvantage against the menacing human race sages. By then, not only would they lose the primordial heavenly dragon talismans, but they would also die here. Having this thought, he did not hesitate. With a flicker, he entered the rift and arrived at the sacred beast hall. As soon as he arrived at the Demon Saint Temple, he immediately sensed that there was a powerful restrictive formation in the void. It was as if time and space had solidified and become one, unshakable. Even though these ancient demon saints had left the Demon Saint Hall, the Demon Saint Hall's restriction formation was still in operation. It was almost impossible for ordinary enemies to invade the Demon Saint Hall. Restrictive formation? You've really underestimated me. I'm just an empty shell. Xia Ping smiled. In front of his World Tree clone, all the restrictive formations in the world were just decorations. This was because the true body of the World Tree could appear in the endless space-time at any time, and no space-time could bind it. Each of its roots could easily connect to the infinite dimensions of the universe. His figure flashed and became invisible. Countless roots of the World Tree extended from his body. With a snap, they easily tore a black hole and directly passed through many restrictive formations. The restrictive formations of the entire Demon Saint Hall, as well as some immortal demon saints and ancient demon saints who were still guarding the Demon Saint Hall, could not sense anything. I'm finally in. Because he had set up the Eye of Karma on the body of Zaram, he knew all the restrictive formations, secret doors, and traps inside the Demon Saint Hall like the back of his hand. After entering this place, he easily avoided all the traps like an old horse. He flew toward the interior of the Demon Saint Hall. On the way, he passed by many palaces, and the restrictive formations around them were useless. After a few more minutes, Xia Ping finally arrived at the deepest part of the Demon Saint Hall. It was a huge altar, which seemed to be the deepest part of space-time. It was also the most heavily guarded place in the Demon Saint Hall. The depths of the altar were filled with powerful auras and various divine restrictions. These restrictions were intertwined with each other and were constantly scanning every space-time. Any enemy hiding around the altar would have nowhere to hide. If an enemy touched the restrictive formations here, many ancient demon saints would immediately sense it. Unfortunately, Xia Ping was independent of the three realms with the help of the clone of the world tree. He walked in the void. No matter how powerful the restrictive formations were, they could not find his traces. Primordial Heavenly Dragon Talisman. Xia Ping stared at the primordial heavenly dragon above the altar. It was so huge and vast that it was shocking. Its body seemed to be covered with dense and unfathomable dharma lines, which were devouring the origin of the Thunder Continent. This primordial heavenly dragon was made up of over 2,900 talismans. Its body was filled with a powerful aura, which was condensed into a substance, as if it was the ancestor of the dragon. Even the surrounding space-time was affected by it, causing layers of distortion. Although he had seen this primordial heavenly dragon on the body of Zarum with the help of the Eye of Karma, he had never been so shocked when he saw it with his own eyes. Furthermore, this was only an incomplete primordial heavenly dragon talisman. If he added the 46 primordial heavenly dragon talismans he already had, the 3,000 primordial heavenly dragon talismans would be condensed into one, restoring the glory of the primordial era and displaying its peak glory. Great treasure. It's indeed a great treasure. Xia Ping was extremely excited. He could clearly sense that the 2,900 primordial heavenly dragon talismans above the altar contained unfathomable secrets. It was as if each talisman contained a law of heaven and earth that had been engraved by supreme dharmic powers. It contained the invincible sage's understanding of the laws of the universe. If he could obtain all of them, he would probably obtain the invincible sage's understanding of the laws of the universe. It was equivalent to obtaining a supreme law scripture. Perhaps, this was the true mystery of the 3,000 primordial heavenly dragon talismans. Such treasures can indeed be maximized only in my hands. It's a complete waste of God's good gifts in the hands of those demon saints. Xia Ping thought carelessly. He felt that all the supreme treasures in the world should belong to him. Only then would they not be covered in dust. Boom. At the thought of this, he did not hesitate. He circulated the massive and thick dharmic powers in his body, and a huge hand that blanketed the sky immediately grabbed out. It blanketed the sky and encompassed the entire area. He wanted to grab the 2,900-plus primordial heavenly dragon talismans and take them away instantly. 2K Reading Network. Chapter 2386. Buzz. But just as Xia Ping's massive hand attempted to grab the 2,900-plus primordial sky dragon talismans, the slumbering primordial sky dragon suddenly awoke. It opened its eyes and emitted a terrifying dragon might. The 2,900-plus primordial sky dragon talismans simultaneously transmitted a terrifying dragon will. It was arrogant and unyielding, as though it wanted to reign supreme over everything and devour countless worlds. It was extremely ruthless. The tyrannical and ruthless will of the primordial sky dragon surged over like a flood, blanketing the world as though it could destroy a world. It was so terrifying that there was no end to it. Clearly, these primordial sky dragon talismans were extremely arrogant. They disdained being controlled by any puny creature. Even though the demonic sages had obtained more than 2,000 primordial sky dragon talismans, they were unable to refine them to this day. They were unable to make these primordial sky dragon talismans submit. At most, they could borrow a portion of their strength. This seemed to be an agreement between the primordial sky dragon talismans and the various demonic sages. The demonic sages provided resources and energy while the primordial sky dragon talismans provided strength. Therefore, Xia Ping's actions immediately violated the might of the primordial sky dragon talismans. It infuriated the talismans and wanted to flare up to suppress this ant that did not know his limits. Despite not being in a complete state, you still have such strength and will. As expected of the primordial sky dragon talismans that were renowned in primordial times. Even after countless epochs have passed, they still possess such might. Xia Ping's eyes revealed a glint. Unfortunately, you have no idea who you are facing. I have inherited the bloodline of the supreme fiend celestial of hell, the infernal golden crow. Even if your true form is the ancestral dragon, it's impossible for you to stop me. Boom. He immediately powered his infernal golden crow bloodline as a dark golden beam shot out. It made him seem like he had transformed into a dark golden sun that emitted eternal light that penetrated every inch of the void. Vaguely, an infernal golden crow walked out of the chaos. It emitted a divine might as though it was a fiend celestial that ruled over everything. No creature could stand up to it. It let out a cry that seemed to cause the laws of the universe to tremble. The primordial sky dragon seemed to feel a fear that came from the depths of its bloodline. It was as though it had seen a predator at the top of the food chain. It felt a heartfelt fear. According to the legends, there was a divine beast, the golden-winged roc, that fed on dragons, and the golden crow was no weaker than the golden-winged roc. The golden crow of hell, which had obtained the power of hell, was even more powerful than the golden-winged roc. Even the legendary ancestral dragon might not be able to match the infernal golden crow, much less the primordial sky dragon, which was only the offspring of the ancestral dragon. It was completely incomparable. This was the suppression of the bloodline. The golden crow of hell slashed out with its claw. It seemed to be a claw that spanned across the ages. This claw came from the depths of hell and spanned countless dimensions. It contained the power of the mythical and epic realms. The illusory primordial celestial dragon let out a shrill cry as its massive golden body immediately split into two. It was unable to withstand such a terrifying bombardment. The mental imprints on the more than 2,900 primordial sky dragon talismans instantly disintegrated completely. The primordial sky dragon immediately exploded into smithereens, disintegrating into countless talismans that could no longer gather together. Come here. Xia Ping's huge hand reached out like a huge hand that blotted out the sky. Instantly, it enveloped the entire altar. All the scattered primordial sky dragon talismans were gathered in the palm of this huge hand. At that moment, the primordial sky dragon talismans no longer had any arrogance. It was as though all their essence, chi, and spirit had been dispersed. They were completely subdued by this power. Good, very good. I've finally obtained the 3,000 primordial sky dragon talismans. As long as I can refine them completely and fuse them into one, I can immediately turn them into a complete peerless sacred artifact. I can reproduce the glory of the primordial sky dragon talismans. With this peerless sacred artifact in hand, I can kill anything that stands in my way. Even if an ancient fey sage is in my way, I can blast it apart with a single punch. I'll be invincible. Xia Ping clenched his fists in excitement. However, he had yet to refine the more than 2,900 primordial sky dragon talismans. Therefore, he needed to leave the Demon Saint Hall and find a safe place to refine the primordial sky dragon talismans completely. This way, the Dharma treasure would completely belong to him. Even if the dragon scientist Titania came looking for him, she wouldn't be able to take the primordial sky dragon talismans away from him. However, at that moment, the disappearance of the more than 2,900 primordial sky dragon talismans immediately triggered the restriction on the altar. The entire Demon Saint Hall shone brightly and caused a huge tremor. Damn it, what's going on? The restriction array inside the Demon Saint Hall has been triggered. An enemy has broken into the Demon Saint Hall. How is this possible? Why was there no movement before? How did the enemy break in? For countless years, no enemy has ever been able to break into the Demon Saint Hall in Heimu City. Now, an enemy has actually broken in. What exactly happened? Has the Demon Saint Hall really become a sieve? Any Tom, Dick, or Harry can enter. Chapter 2387. What? Someone stole the primordial heavenly dragon talismans hidden in the demon's sacred hall. Bastard! Over 2,900 primordial heavenly dragon talismans. You have no idea how much our demon race paid for them and how much effort we put in. Which bitch dared to do such a wicked thing? How did he sneak into the depths of the demon's sacred hall when we were not in our lair? Our demon's sacred hall is heavily guarded. Even a sage from the Middle Ages would not be able to sneak in silently. That thief must have been watching us for a long time. Otherwise, he would not have acted so coincidentally right after we left the demon's sacred hall. That wretched slut. She actually dared to set her sights on our Haemus city and our demon race. There will be no place for that bastard in this world. Go back immediately and capture that thief. Let him suffer a fate worse than death. The demon sages from the Middle Ages were going crazy. They could not wait to capture the thief who stole the primordial heavenly dragon talismans and beat him half to death. There was no need to interrogate him. They did not know how long these primordial heavenly dragon talismans had been refined. They were just short of 46 primordial heavenly dragon talismans to restore the glory of the primordial era and give the demon race another supreme weapon. However, this supreme weapon had been stolen by a bitch. It was like a peerless spiritual fruit that had been cultivated for billions of years was stolen when it was about to ripen. How humiliating was that? They could not wait to rush back and snatch back all the primordial heavenly dragon talismans. On the other hand, many sage from the Middle Ages of the human race had also seen this scene. Why did these demon race bastards suddenly go crazy? They look like they have eaten dog shit. The Rain Listener sage immediately noticed the situation. It seems that the primordial heavenly dragon talismans hidden in the depths of the demon's sacred hall have been stolen. A sage from the Middle Ages squinted his eyes. He was good at eavesdropping and could easily sense the psyche waves of the demon sages. He naturally knew the reason for their rage. What? The 2,900 primordial heavenly dragon talismans that those bastards worked so hard to collect were stolen at this time? Moreover, someone sneaked into the demon saint temple without anyone noticing. In this way, wouldn't the demon clan suffer a great loss? Wouldn't their billions of years of blood be wasted? A middle ancient sage rejoiced in the misfortune of others. At this moment, he also learned the reason for the war from the city lord, Purple Thunder Sage. It turned out that these demon race bastards had ulterior motives and were attempting to use the primordial heavenly dragon talisman to destroy the human race's Thunder City. If they succeeded, they would be doomed. Even the saints of the Middle Ages might not be able to survive this earth-shattering catastrophe. With regards to the demon clan's misfortune, he naturally took pleasure in their misfortune. He even wanted to step on their heads a few times. Isn't this too much of a coincidence? The primordial heavenly dragon talisman was stolen not long after the primordial demon sages left the demon saint hall. The Purple Thunder Sage had a strange look on his face. He felt that this was too much of a coincidence. It was as though someone had planned this from the shadows. It was as though the human race and the demon clan had been plotted against and used as chess pieces. The goal was to take advantage of the chaos to obtain more primordial heavenly dragon talismans and cause the demon clan to suffer a great loss. His divine senses spread out and shrouded the void. Intentionally or unintentionally, he placed his divine senses on Fengdu Sage, who was behind him. This was because this information was provided by this fellow. Not long after the war started, the demon clan's primordial heavenly dragon talisman was actually stolen. This matter was very suspicious to Fengdu Sage. If Fengdu Sage had not been in the battlefield, he would have suspected that it was Fengdu Sage who did it. City Lord, regardless of whether this is a coincidence or a plot, isn't the demon clan's misfortune the human race's luck? In this situation, the more losses the demon clan suffers, the better. If the demon clan really obtained the complete primordial heavenly dragon talisman, wouldn't they ascend to the heavens? Rain Listener Sage did not mind being used by others. As long as this matter developed to his benefit and the human race's benefit, it was enough. After all, who in this world was not a chess piece? Even an invincible sage could not transcend. That's right. The angrier those medieval demon sages are, the more they stomp their feet in anger. They must be tired of living to dare to plot against the human race. Another medieval sage nodded in agreement. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. As soon as he finished his sentence, Purple Thunder Sage and the other medieval sages of the human race immediately took action and stopped the numerous medieval demon sages who wanted to leave and return to Haemus City. Purple Thunder, old devil. Upon seeing this situation, Patrick bellowed angrily, "I'm not in the mood to fight with you now. Don't stop me from returning to Hamu City. Otherwise, I'll fight you to the death. Do you understand?" He was flustered and exasperated. Seeing the actions of Purple Thunder Sage and his group, he knew that this group of bad humans was definitely trying to stop them from returning to Hamu City and snatching the primordial heavenly dragon talisman. He even suspected that the person who snatched the primordial heavenly dragon talisman was a member of the human race. Otherwise, how could it be so coincidental that the demon's sacred temple was stolen right after they left? He did not believe that there was nothing fishy about this. Fight to the death? Isn't it already a fight to the death? Purple Thunder Sage said in disdain, "Still trying to threaten me? What a joke. It's like saying who doesn't have a backer. So what if I stop you? Are you going to bite me? In any case, if you want to leave this place, it's just wishful thinking." He was not afraid of Patrick's threat at all. In terms of strength, everyone here had comprehended the space-time domain and reached the pinnacle of the medieval era. In terms of background, he also had many human race patriarchs standing behind him. How could Patrick do anything to him? These threats were completely useless. "Stupid demon, you still want to threaten us humans? You're really crazy. Don't think that you're still the absolute overlord of the past. Now, the human race has surpassed you. What are you shouting for? If you have the guts, come and fight me. You speak as if you can do anything to us. What a joke." One by one, the medieval sages laughed loudly. They were not afraid of the demon race at all. They were all from the pinnacle races and had been fighting each other for a long time. How could they be threatened by the other party? On the contrary, the more flustered and exasperated the other party was, the happier they were. "Good, very good. Purple Thunder Sage, it seems like you really want to stop me. Forget it, I'll kill you all now and then go back to kill that despicable thief." Patrick was enraged and his lungs were about to explode. This Purple Thunder Sage was clearly harming others without benefiting himself. Seeing that his Hamu City was in trouble, he wanted to take the opportunity to hit him while he was down. How could he tolerate such vexation? Bang, bang, bang. The medieval sages from both sides started fighting again. Multiple space-time domains bombarded each other, shattering the vacuum. Chapter 2388. At this time, deep inside the Demon Saint Temple, Xia Ping had already sensed that after he had snatched more than 2,900 primordial heavenly dragon talismans, the entire Demon Sacred Hall was in an uproar. His whereabouts could not be concealed for the time being. Even the tens of thousands of restrictive formations in the Demon Saint Temple were activated, especially the space-time formations, which seemed to freeze time and space in this space, causing all the enemies to fall into a state of standstill. This won't do. I must escape from the Demon Temple immediately. If the Demon Temple's restrictive formations are all activated, I won't be able to escape at all. It will be like falling into a swamp. Xia Ping's eyes flashed. He was not afraid of his own death. After all, these were just two clones. If he died, he could condense them again at any time. The problem was that if these two avatars died, the treasures he had on him, the 2,900 plus primordial heavenly dragon talismans he had painstakingly obtained, would probably be left behind in this place. In this way, all his hard work for so long would be in vain. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. But at this moment, hundreds of demon saints scattered in the Demon Saint Temple flew over from all directions. With the help of the Demon Saint Temple's restriction formation, they instantly teleported to this place. "Bastard thief, surrender immediately. Hand over everything you stole from the Demon Saint Hall, or I'll execute your entire family. How dare you come to our demon temple in Hamu City and behave atrociously? You're courting death. No one in the world can save you." The beast saints roared furiously. Their voices reverberated like thunder, resounding through the space-time and covering every corner. At the same time, they contained the power of a primordial spirit attack. It was enough to make an undying saint dizzy. These demon sages were not simple. There were at least 20 to 30 near-ancient demon sages and 70 immortal demon sages. Basically, They were the elites left in the demon divine temple by Hymus City. They were responsible for protecting this important place. As for the demon sages of the Middle Ages, there were none. In order to fight against the human race, they had already turned out in full force. In the blink of an eye, they arrived in front of Xia Ping. Their powerful auras enveloped this space, not giving Xia Ping the slightest chance to escape. A human. Some ancient demon sages sensed the human aura on Xia Ping, and their pupils constricted. Why did you break into our demon's sacred hall to steal our treasures? What did you steal? This was because this place was a forbidden area of the demon divine temple. Only the demon saint of the Middle Ages had the right to enter and exit this place at will. They did not know what was hidden in this forbidden area. Even so, they knew that the item that had been stolen from the forbidden area was extremely important. Otherwise, the demon sages of the Middle Ages would not have been so furious and exasperated. Who is it? Hearing this, Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back and looked down. You can call me Wu Wudi. Wu Wudi? Where did Wu Wudi come from? Which human saint is he? Strange, where did this human race sage come from? What did he do earlier? I don't know at all. He's probably a nobody. Fuck, a nobody dares to behave atrociously in our Hymus city? He must be tired of living. Many beast saints were confused. Although Wu Wudi's name was very famous in the other regions of the universe, it was not enough in the mystic zone. He was just a thunder retribution realm cultivator. How could these demon sages take notice of him? The corners of Xia Ping's mouth twitched when he heard that. He felt very depressed. He thought that he would be able to scare this group of demon sages by saying that he was Wu Wudi. He did not expect that they would still think that he was a nobody. He was a wanted criminal in other regions of the universe, but now he had become a nobody that was looked down upon by these demon sages. He even said that he didn't dare to come here and behave atrociously. It was really outrageous. A bunch of ignorant old antiques. What do you know? You can't keep up with the times. You don't even know who Wu Wudi is, so what do you know? Don't block my way, or I'll send you all to hell one by one. Don't make me angry. Xia Ping's face was very dark. He was a little angry. Angry? So what if a puny human race undying realm is angry? Don't talk nonsense with this nobody. Invading the Beast Saint Hall is a crime punishable by death. Beat him half to death immediately. A little thief dares to be so insolent in our territory. He won't even know how to write his name when he dies. Do it, kill him immediately. The Beast Saint sneered. They did not care about Xia Ping at all. Although he had invaded the Beast Saint Hall without a sound, he was at most at the immortal realm. No matter how strong he was, there was a limit. They had so many immortal Beast Saints and ancient Beast Saints here. They could also activate the Beast Saint Hall's restriction formation. They had the right time, the right place, and the right people. There was no reason for them to be afraid. Boom. As soon as they finished speaking, some Beast Saints did not waste any time and immediately acted. Their space domains covered every corner of this place. Suddenly, a powerful space power shook and the void rippled. This place was almost completely sealed. Nothing could escape from this place. Insignificant tricks. Xia Ping sneered. He did not care about these Beast Saint space domains at all. Putting aside the fact that his main body was an ancient saint, he had a deep understanding of the law of space. Even though his clone's cultivation was only at the immortal realm, his soul was near the immortal realm. He could still see through all the mysteries of space. Moreover, his World Tree clone was the darling of space. It could naturally merge with countless dimensions. A mere space domain was like a piece of paper to it. Divine ability, touch of the world. In an instant, his body trembled. Hundreds of thousands of roots surged out. They looked like tentacles. They seeped out from the void and attacked from all directions. Don't. With just one attack, the entire Beast Saint Hall's spacetime was torn apart by the tentacles. Shocking cracks appeared everywhere. It was as if the Beast Saint Hall was being torn in half. The Beast Saint space domains were like pieces of paper. They could not withstand the power of the World Tree's roots at all. They were instantly cut into dozens of pieces. As a result, the beast saints were caught off guard. They did not expect their space domains to be so fragile. They could not even withstand a single attack from a puny immortal saint. As their space domains were destroyed, the beast saints' primordial spirits were heavily injured. The beast saints let out miserable screams. They were heavily injured on the spot. They could not help but spit out a mouthful of blood from the depths of their bodies. Chapter 2389. Impossible? He's just a human immortal sage. How can he be so powerful? Even the space domain of a near-ancient sage can't do anything to him. He can easily tear space apart? Some near-ancient sage beasts couldn't believe what they were seeing. They were near-ancient sage beasts who had comprehended the law of space. They were much stronger than sempiternal realm experts. But against this sempiternal realm human, their space domain was like paper. They were no match for him at all. How could they accept such a ridiculous thing? What kind of supernatural power is this? I've never heard of it before. How did he do it? Many near-ancient sage beasts were also confused. They felt that although Wu Wudi hadn't comprehended the law of space, the power he displayed just now contained extremely strong space power. It was as if he was born to be the ruler of space. It was this unimaginable power that made their space domain ineffective. This guy can't fight alone. Activate the space-time restriction of the demon temple immediately and kill him. We can't underestimate him. Some near-ancient sage beasts immediately stopped underestimating Xia Ping. This guy had displayed a power that could sweep away all near-ancient sage beasts. Even if he was a nobody now, he would definitely become famous in the future. If they allowed this human to escape from the demon temple, the demon race would become the laughingstock of the entire universe and all the races in the universe. They couldn't accept such a humiliation. Yes, activate the restriction of the demon temple immediately. The many sage beasts looked at each other and formed hand seals. They wanted to activate the restriction of the demon temple and kill Wu Wudi. Although they had the advantage in numbers and were stronger than this human, the problem was that the demon temple in Heim City had lost its treasures. It wouldn't be too much to use any means. They didn't care about any means to deal with a mere thief. It would be the greatest humiliation to let this kid escape unscathed. You want to activate the formation? Do you think I'll let you do that? Xia Ping could sense that the restriction of the entire demon temple was being activated. The terrifying aura of the restriction seemed to be gathering in the depths of the void. Once it completely descended, the space-time within a radius of billions of kilometers would be sealed. When that happened, he would be captured by these sage beasts. He couldn't allow that to happen no matter what. Die! Xia Ping's eyes gleamed coldly as he circulated the infernal golden crow bloodline in his body. Boom! In an instant, terrifying dark golden infernal golden crow flames spread out from his body. These dark golden flames spewed out from the 108,000 pores on his body. Wisps of dark golden flames quickly condensed into thousands of golden crows of hell. They seemed to have a mind of their own as they attacked in all directions. Crash! Suddenly, the infernal golden crow's flames burned the void, and the seals of the restriction formations in the surroundings were instantly burned to ashes. Even the void collapsed from the heat, and small black holes appeared. At the same time, some immortal demon sages were caught off guard. Their chests were instantly pierced by a wisp of dark golden flame. As a result, their souls could not withstand the power of the exceptional flame and were instantly burned to ashes. They could not even resist for a second. Quick, get out of the way. That's a unique flame of the universe. You can't touch it. Otherwise, even your soul will be burned to ash. Some sage beasts screamed as they sensed the terror of the dark golden exceptional flame. Such power was comparable to the whirling calamity poison of the universe. They could not withstand it at all. The immortal demon sages and sage beasts could not care about activating the restriction formations here. They fled in all directions in fear. Unfortunately, Xia Ping's World Tree clone was already on standby. The entire Demon Saint Temple was only this big, and the roots of the World Tree covered every corner of the void. It was as if the entire demon saint temple had become the domain of the world tree. Under such a domain, these sage beasts were like caged birds. No matter how they tried to escape, they could not escape from the palm of the Gautama Buddha. Even if they kept struggling, it was futile. Swish, 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 swish. Thousands of roots of the world tree stretched out from the void like god-slaying spears. They contained boundless killing intent and attacked from the depths of the void from all directions silently. There was not even a spatial fluctuation. Even a demon sage from ancient times would not be able to detect such an attack. Don't. In just an instant, the demon sages present were caught off guard. Their bodies were easily pierced through, and they were nailed in midair. Intense pain spread throughout their bodies, and they let out shrill screams. At the same time, the world tree produced a powerful devouring power. With a slight suction, the souls of these sage beasts were all devoured. It was like a soul-devouring monster. In an instant, the bodies of these sage beasts became empty shells. The power of the world tree clone was also rising rapidly. It was replenished by a huge amount of energy. It seemed to be about to advance to the early stage of the near-ancient realm. This is the world tree, the universe demon tree. Xia Ping narrowed his eyes. He increasingly felt that the world tree was a terrifying demon tree. These roots penetrated the various worlds and stole the origin of countless worlds to strengthen its own origin. At the same time, when dealing with the living beings of the various worlds, it could also devour the souls of these living beings. Nothing could stop it. If it was given enough time, perhaps the entire universe's source would be devoured by it. How can this be? How can this human Wu Wuti be so terrifying? Some immortal Fey sages were scared out of their wits. What kind of joke is this? This Wu Wuti kills sage beasts like killing chickens. Why haven't I heard of such a human demon before? Some immortal Fey sages were scared out of their wits. There was a huge difference between them and the sage beasts. However, in front of Wu Wuti, these sage beasts were as weak as chicks. They were nailed in midair without any ability to resist. This scene was too terrifying. Even though they were experienced and knowledgeable, they were completely scared out of their wits. Run quickly. This is a monster. We're not his match at all. The immortal Fey sages did not dare to stay and fight Wu Wuti. They all fled. If even the sage beasts were not his match, wouldn't staying here be sending them to their deaths? Unfortunately, they had already fallen into the world tree's trap. There was nowhere to run. Don't. Tens of thousands of the world tree roots shot out from all directions. In just an instant, they pierced the bodies of the immortal Fey sages and the remaining sage beasts, killing them all. Only a few sage beasts saw that the situation was bad. They immediately burned their soul origin and tore apart the restrictive array formation with all their might. Only then did they escape from this dangerous place. At this point, more than 100 sage beasts had died here. Xia Ping waved his hand and immediately collected the corpses of the sage beasts. These were all top-grade materials. He could not waste them. Chapter 2390. Boom! Just as Xia Ping collected all the corpses of the demon saints, a powerful aura descended from the depths of the void and enveloped the entire demon saint temple. Damn human, you're courting death. An earth-shattering roar reverberated. It seemed to have caused space-time to vibrate. The void within a radius of hundreds of millions of kilometers trembled, producing a terrifying resonance of laws. This power was enough to kill an immortal sage. The one who spoke was the medieval demon saint, Zurum. While the human clan and the demon clan were fighting, it sneaked away. While the human clan was unprepared, it used a supreme escape method and finally returned to the demon divine hall. As soon as he returned, he saw hundreds of demon saints killed by Xia Ping. These demon saints were the true elites of the demon race. It would take a lot of resources and time to produce one demon saint. Now, hundreds of demon saints had died. God knows how many years it would take to make up for this loss. Even if there was a fierce war, there might not be so many demon saints killed. But now, these demon saints were killed by this little bastard. Such hatred could not be washed away even by rivers. Oh no, the humans didn't stop all the primordial demon sages and even let one of them escape. Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. He didn't expect Zaram to be so powerful that he could hide from all the medieval demon saints and sneak back to the demon saint temple alone. The power of the Eye of Cause and Effect on Zaram had long disappeared. After all, it couldn't last for too long. If it continued to exist, he would know Zaram's every move. Without saying a word, he immediately used the touch of the world and tore apart many restrictive formations of the demon saint temple. A huge hole appeared in the void for easy entry and exit. At the same time, he used the supreme bloodline ability of the Infernal Golden Crow doppelganger, Infernal Golden Crow Wings. With a swoosh, a huge pair of dark golden wings appeared on his back. They were covered with dense golden crow runes. Each rune was extremely mysterious and contained unfathomable power. In an instant, the pair of dark golden wings unfolded. With a slight flap, he instantly entered the void and fled toward the Demon Saint Temple and the outside of Heimu City. Thief, don't even think of escaping. Even if you flee to the ends of the earth, I will not let you go. The medieval demon sage Zaram roared furiously as his eyes almost popped out of his eye sockets. If he let this bastard escape like this, not only would he fail to avenge the deaths of over 100 demon sages, he would also not be able to bear the responsibility of losing over 2,900 ancient heavenly dragon talismans. Each and every one of them would become a serious criminal of the demon race and receive severe punishment. They would be locked up in cages. Such consequences were simply unbearable for them. Feeling the fury of Zaram, Xia Ping narrowed his eyes as he instantly sensed a powerful intent locking his soul firmly like a gangrene. Xia Ping couldn't get rid of it at all. He knew that this was the powerful consciousness of the demon saint of the Middle Ages. It contained the power of space-time and could travel hundreds of light-years in an instant. Furthermore, these over 2,900 ancient heavenly dragon talismans had been refined by the demon sages day and night, leaving traces of their spiritual imprints on them. Even though he had barely suppressed the will of the ancient heavenly dragon talismans, he had not completely refined them. Therefore, traces of spiritual imprints were still left on them. With the help of these spiritual imprints, the demon sages could still locate him. However, he was not afraid at all. The dark golden wings on his back flapped constantly. In an instant, thousands of dark golden wing phantoms appeared behind him. These phantoms seemed to have formed a powerful propelling force as they constantly moved forward, ignoring the surrounding space. In just a breath's time, he had escaped from Heimu City. With a loud bang, the moment Xia Ping left, a palm slapped from the depths of the void. It twisted the space-time and instantly left a terrifying palm print on the ground, destroying everything in its path. The medieval demon sage Zaram chased after Xia Ping furiously, but he could only see Xia Ping's shadow. Wu Wudi of the human race, don't even think about escaping. No matter who's backing you, you will die today. How dare you steal the ancient heavenly dragon talismans that our demon race has painstakingly obtained over countless years? This is the hatred of killing our father and exterminating our entire race. How dare you rob such a treasure? Even if you die 10,000 times, you won't regret it. Zaram flew into a rage as he bellowed furiously. Boom! In an instant, he transformed into an incomparably huge bird. Zaram was a primordial ferocious bird that covered the sky and seemed to have a trace of Kunpeng bloodline in his body. A tyrannical power of space erupted from its body as it displayed its huge black wings. In an instant, it disappeared into the dimensional space and chased after Xia Ping. Almost instantly, he also chased out of Heimu City and headed for the depths of the Thunderbolt continent. The two of them chased one after the other. There's actually a fish that slipped through the net. At this moment, in the center of the battlefield, many ancient sages of the human race had also noticed Zaram's action. They couldn't help but raise their eyebrows. Despite being on guard, a medieval demon sage still managed to escape. However, it couldn't be helped. After all, the demon race was also a peak race with numerous means. If they paid a certain price, it would be very difficult for them to stop the other party. But the guy who stole the ancient heavenly dragon talismans seems to be a human. Have any of you seen that kid? The ancient sage of the human race sensed a trace of aura from Xia Ping. He was a little surprised that the guy who caused such a huge commotion in the Demon Saint Palace was actually a human of the human race. Could this be a secret plan of the human race? However, the level of secrecy was too high. Even they weren't qualified to know about it. I've never seen him before. He seems to be just an immortal sage. However, a mere immortal sage is actually so daring. He even dared to break into the Demon Saint Palace in Heimu City. Furthermore, he really left unscathed. That's really impressive. However, he's being chased by Zaram. It doesn't bode well for him. The Rain Listener sage touched his chin. That brat is extremely daring. Since he dared to do such a thing, he must have many means. In my opinion, that brat won't be killed by Zaram that easily. The Purple Thunder sage had a strange look on his face. He felt that since that guy dared to use such a trick to plot against two peak races, it wasn't as simple as being extremely daring. It was simply boundless. It would be strange if such a person could die so easily. That's right. In that case, there's no need to care about that brat. Now that the medieval demon sages have lost a helper, they're in a disadvantageous position. This time, we must make them pay the price. Even if we can't kill them, we must make them suffer irrecoverable injuries. The Rain Listener sage's eyes revealed a trace of cold light. He felt that this was a great opportunity. Of course, we must make this group of demon race bastards pay a heavy price. Otherwise, it wouldn't be worth such a huge commotion. The Purple Thunder sage was filled with killing intent. Chapter 2391. This Zaram is indeed powerful. Xia Ping used the golden crow wings of hell to fly in the depths of the void while operating his powerful magic power. Sometimes he flew high into the sky, sometimes he crossed mountains, and sometimes he drilled into the ground. The surrounding void couldn't obstruct his pair of golden crow wings. It seemed that nothing could isolate him. He was like a free deity above the 9 heavens. Moreover, the more he flew, the faster he became. It was as if the endless power of the void had become the driving force for his wings, and the tyrannical power of space was added to his wings. The golden crow wings of hell could be considered as an extremely powerful bloodline ability. It was said that it could easily fly up to the 9 heavens and enter the 9 serenities of hell. Damn it! The medieval demon sage Zaram was infuriated. He gritted his teeth and tried his best to catch up. However, he realized that no matter how hard he tried, he could only see his opponent's back. He was only a little bit behind, but he couldn't catch up with him. If this continued, both parties would fly out of the Thunder Continent and enter the boundless Thunder Sea region. Once they entered the Thunder Sea region, they would face endless void storms and extremely complicated geographical environment. Even the medieval demon sage dared not trespass such a place. Therefore, no matter what, he had to stop this thief as soon as possible. He must not let him escape. Human thief! Zaram roared furiously, "Stop right now. How dare you snatch the immemorial heavenly dragon talisman? Aren't you afraid that your entire clan will be exterminated after offending us? You can't escape from us. Furthermore, the immemorial heavenly dragon talisman is a peerless sacred weapon. It was once the natal artifact of a wanted criminal in the universe. It's a murder weapon. Even if you take it away, you won't be able to keep it. Have you considered the consequences?" He threatened Xia Ping ferociously in an attempt to frighten this human. "Thanks for the reminder," Xia Ping said arrogantly. "Since you also know that this is a murder weapon, then you shouldn't have kept it for yourself. If it was in the hands of other races, your demon race actually dared to do such a disgraceful thing. You broke the rules everywhere, and even tried to exterminate the humans of Thunder City. Fortunately, this matter was exposed in time, and this matter didn't start. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a place for your demon race in the entire universe. Therefore, I'm taking away the primordial heavenly dragon talismans that you worked so hard to obtain. It's only beneficial to you and not detrimental to you. I'm saving the lives of your demon race. It's fine if you're not grateful, but you actually dared to whisper to me. Don't tell me that your demon race doesn't know what it means to repay kindness? Shut up, bitch. After hearing this, Zaram was so furious that he almost spurted out a mouth of blood. It had seen some shameless humans, but it had never seen such a shameless guy. It was clearly this bastard who snuck into the demon's sacred hall and shamelessly stole the primordial heavenly dragon talismans that their demon race spent billions of years to obtain. Yet, he still wanted them to be grateful to this kid? What kind of logic was this? Since when did a thief dare to speak to the owner of the lost talismans in such a righteous manner? It felt like they had lost a supreme treasure, yet they still had to be grateful to this bitch. Bitch, since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. A puny immortal sage dares to be arrogant in front of the Middle Ages sages? You're courting death. Zaram roared furiously. Bloodline ability, ominous rocks heaven and earth net. In an instant, it formed a seal with both hands and slapped out with its claws. Its body erupted with the might of a peerless ferocious bird. Suddenly, a huge black claw appeared out of nowhere, spanning thousands of kilometers. It was as if the space within thousands of kilometers had collapsed and was smashed into pieces by this claw. Everything was destroyed by the violent power. With this claw, the boundless energy between the heavens and the earth immediately turned into hundreds of millions of dense lines of laws. They seemed to be condensed from the power of time and space. These lines of laws fell down like a storm and intertwined with each other, forming a huge net that covered the sky and the sun. This was Zaram's bloodline ability. It had absorbed the essence of 18,000 dimensional spaces, the origin of laws, Kunpeng's bloodline, and other powers to condense this huge net of laws. Once it enveloped the enemy, they would immediately fall into the domain of time and space. Both time and space would stop in an instant. No enemy would be able to escape from this huge net. In the blink of an eye, Xia Ping sensed that his body had been confined by the power of time and space. The huge net of time and space had enveloped the surrounding space, covering hundreds of light years. No matter how fast he was, it would be difficult for him to escape hundreds of light years in an instant. Within the range of the huge net, time seemed to slow down. All living beings within the scope of the law of time felt as if their speed had slowed down by more than 10 times. Even Xia Ping's Golden Crow of Hell clone and World Tree clone could not resist it. This power of time and space that was condensed from time and space seemed to be above everything else. He realized that he felt as if he had fallen into a swamp. It was extremely difficult for him to move forward. If it continued like this, he would definitely be caught up by Zaram, and by then he would be screwed. After all, these two clones had only reached the immortal realm. In terms of cultivation realm and magic power, the two clones were far inferior to the ancient demon sage. Ah, little thief, you finally can't escape anymore. Under my bloodline ability, ominous rocks heaven and earth net, even the ancient demon sage would fall into a state of time and space slowing down, not to mention a mere immortal sage like you. Surrender now. Martial path ability, heavenly rock fist. Zaram was extremely proud when he saw Xia Ping's expression. He knew that he could finally stop this kid from escaping. As long as he broke this kid's wings, he would be trapped like a turtle in a jar. Without saying a word, he circulated the powerful bloodline power in his body and immediately executed his supreme ability. Dense Kunpeng runes surged out from the depths of his body and gathered in the depths of his fist. Boom! He threw a punch at Xia Ping. At this moment, it seemed as if he had communicated with the Kunpeng bloodline in the depths of his body. It was as if the power of the Kunpeng, a mythical beast from the ancient times, had been infused into his body. In an instant, the shadow of a Kunpeng flew out from the depths of the void. It was as if a mythical beast from the ancient times had descended. It emitted an unparalleled divine might that shook the void and rivaled the heavens. This punch even contained the power to distort time and space. It emitted an eternal light of time and space. The surrounding void was torn apart. At this moment, it seemed as if the surrounding space had turned into a state of chaos. Even if the ancient demon sage was hit by this punch, he would be severely injured and his bloodline broken. Chapter 2392. Die. The medieval demon sage Zaram's face turned hideous. He seemed to have imagined the scene of this damned immortal saint dying in front of him. This brat would be punched to death and turned into minced meat. Even an immortal body wouldn't be able to survive this punch that could distort time and space. All of his immortal cells would be shattered. At this moment, a black figure suddenly appeared in front of the medieval demon sage Zaram. "Who's there?" The medieval demon sage Zaram was startled. He didn't expect someone to show up at this moment. "I'm Fengdu." At this moment, Xia Ping's original body had finally stealthily arrived from the battlefield. As the item on his clone was of great importance and couldn't be lost, he had personally come to receive it. Even with the strength of the two immortal clones, he might not be able to resist the power of the medieval demon sage. "What, Fengdu? Since you dare to stand in my way, then let's die together." The medieval demon sage Zaram roared. Without wasting any time, he even triggered the strength of each of his cells and exerted his utmost efforts to launch his supreme bloodline ability. An even more terrifying aura erupted from his body. It was as though the time and space within hundreds of millions of miles had been distorted. Karma barrier. Xia Ping didn't dodge. He immediately took out the treasure of hell, Karma book. Immediately, a huge book appeared in front of him. At the same time, it exerted a huge transparent barrier. It was an energy barrier condensed by countless universal laws. It contained karma and karma, including the 6 paths and samsara. It seemed to be the endpoint of all Taos and the origin of everything. Boom! In an instant, the punch that could distort time and space bombarded the karma barrier. A terrifying power erupted like a landslide and a tsunami, attempting to destroy the barrier. However, it didn't work at all. It was as though it had fallen into cotton and was wrapped by a mass of karma energy. No power could escape from the karma barrier. How is this possible? Seeing this, the medieval demon sage Zaram's pupils contracted. He simply couldn't believe it. Even an ancient sage of the same level wouldn't be able to resist his all-out attack unscathed. However, facing this weird energy barrier, his punch that could distort time and space was easily resisted, as though everything he had done was futile. If there's a cause, there's an effect, and if there's an effect, there's a cause. Pay them back in their own coin. Xia Ping formed a seal with both of his hands and activated the power of karma inside the Book of Karma. His eyes shone with a mysterious light as countless karma spell symbols flowed inside the karma barrier. Impossible! Not only did he block the attack, he seems to be able to reflect it. In a split second, Zaram sensed an extremely dangerous chi. The weird energy barrier was twisting as if it had produced a terrifying counterforce. It sensed that the attack that contained all of its power seemed to want to return and bombard itself. One had to know that this was an attack that even the demon sage of the Middle Ages might not be able to withstand. If it were to hit itself, even if it didn't die, it would be severely injured. Not good. But Zaram felt goosebumps all over his body as he sensed great danger. He immediately wanted to escape, however, it was already too late. The rebound speed of the karma barrier was beyond his imagination. Boom! In a split second, the punch chi which was flying towards Xia Ping returned as if it had locked onto Zaram's chi. As a result, the surrounding time and space were twisted and destroyed. At once, Zaram was hit by Zhang Tai's punch. The terrifying destructive force spread over his body in a split second and penetrated through his chest, spurting out blood like it was worthless. He let out a miserable shriek as his body was torn apart. Even his soul was severely injured. The surrounding time and space within hundreds of millions of miles were shattered. Mountains and rivers seemed to have turned into nothingness at this moment. This region had been completely razed to the ground. Hundreds of millions of huge cracks that spanned more than a dozen light years appeared on the ground, and a terrifying space-time aura pervaded everywhere. Broken spaces appeared everywhere, connecting to countless space-time dimensions, and terrifying space-time turbulence erupted in every place. Even so, with the powerful immortal strength of the demon sage of the Middle Ages, Zaram was still alive. His flesh and blood that were scattered across the space rapidly wriggled and gathered together, forming a complete body. Just you wait, human. How dare you steal from us demons? You will definitely become the mortal enemy of us demons in the future. Even if you escape to the end of the universe, you won't be able to escape death. We demons will definitely not let you off. Zaram let out a miserable shriek. At this moment he was in an extremely miserable state. He didn't know how many years it had been since he suffered such a serious injury. If this force was just a little stronger, he would have died for sure. Furthermore, he would have died under his own power. How aggrieved was that? As soon as he finished speaking, he immediately activated his speed ability and displayed his Kunpeng wings, attempting to escape into the depths of the void. This was because Zaram knew that his current situation was too dangerous. If he continued to stay here, he would definitely die in the hands of this weird human saint. He didn't want to snatch the primordial heavenly dragon talisman anymore. He just wanted to leave this dangerous place alive. After all, compared to his own life was more important. Even if he lost this precious treasure and was punished by the higher-ups of the demon race, he wouldn't die. At most, he would be thrown into prison. After hundreds of millions of years, he would still be able to come out alive. Therefore, after comparing the two options, he immediately made a decision. Needless to say, as a medieval demon saint, Zaram was extremely fast at escaping. He instantly escaped into the depths of the endless space and time. Using his space-time realm, he traveled hundreds of light years away in a single breath. Even a medieval demon saint couldn't catch up with Zaram. Still want to escape? Come out. Reincarnation pen, kill deities and demons. Xia Ping's eyes flickered with a cold light. How could he let Zaram escape? If he did that, he might have one more powerful enemy in the future. Furthermore, the secret of his doppelganger might be discovered by Zaram. No matter what, Zaram had to die in this place. He had to eliminate the root of the problem. Swish. In an instant, a reincarnation pen appeared in Xia Ping's right hand. It gave off an unparalleled immortal might. Vaguely, a primordial underworld deity appeared behind him. With the karma book in his left hand and the reincarnation pen in his right, he seemed to be the king of hell who could decide the life and death of all the living beings in the universe. Karma force and reincarnation force intertwined with each other and seemed to form an indescribable, great force. An indescribable chi was born in the depths of Xia Ping's body. No universal laws could interfere with it. Chapter 2393. One reincarnation stroke determines life and death. Xia Ping looked at Zaram in the distance. His golden crow's eyes of hell could see through time and space and trace karma. No matter how fast Zaram moved, he couldn't escape from Xia Ping's eyes. Holding the reincarnation brush, Xia Ping lightly pointed at the void. Boom! In an instant, a terrifying force burst out from the depths of the reincarnation brush. It was like the first ray of light at the beginning of the chaos, the purest and most primitive force. This ray of light traced the karma lines and crossed the infinite time and space, arriving in front of Zaram in a split second. Impossible! What's this force? Zaram's body shook violently as his hair stood on end as if he had sensed a fatal crisis. He couldn't help but look back to see what was happening. However, this time, it would be eternity. At this moment, a white light flashed across time and space. With a boom, it penetrated through Zaram's head and tore apart his soul. It was like a strike of the immemorial underworld deity, which traced back the karma force. Dead? I'm dead just like this? How is this possible? Zaram became dumbfounded as he couldn't resist at all. Therefore, he fell into the endless darkness while his huge corpse just lay in the air. As expected of the reincarnation brush, its power is indeed extraordinary. Xia Ping clicked his tongue and sighed with emotion. If he only relied on his own strength, he might not be able to kill a sage of the Middle Ages. After all, the sage of the Middle Ages was too fast. He could travel hundreds of light years in a breath when he used the space realm. Moreover, the vitality of the sage of the Middle Ages was extremely tenacious. Even if he was poisoned by the whirling poison, he could still hold on for a long time. Only the reincarnation brush, a supreme artifact that traced back the karma and reversed the reincarnation, could easily kill a sage of the Middle Ages. However, this strike consumed a lot of Xia Ping's magic power. He couldn't use it all the time. It seems that I have to leave immediately. The death of a sage of the Middle Ages is an earth-shattering event. Perhaps even the old ancestor of the demon clan will be alarmed. Xia Ping waved his hand and stored Zaram's corpse. He threw it to the world tree to refine. He believed that it would soon be refined into a fruit of time. Without saying a word, his figure flickered, leaping through space and time. At the same time, he used the formless mask to conceal his aura, as well as all the information and power on his body. An hour later, Xia Ping landed on a remote island outside the Thunder Continent. This place was quite a distance away from the Thunder Continent. It had verdant hills and limpid waters, and was located in a remote location. Moreover, it was the time of the Great War between the human race and the demon race, so it was believed that no one would discover this place in a short period of time. He immediately entered a certain mountain range on this island, and entered a certain cave to enter seclusion. Then he took out the more than 2,900 primordial heavenly dragon talismans he had obtained from the demon Saint Hall. If he took out the 46 primordial heavenly dragon talismans he had, he would immediately be able to form 3,000 primordial heavenly dragon talismans, reproducing the glory of the primordial era. This wasn't as simple as a few times increase in strength. It was hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of times. The might of a complete primordial heavenly dragon talisman far exceeded the imagination of most sages. Furthermore, by completely refining these primordial skydragon talismans, he would be able to remove the mental imprint that the demonic sages had left on the primordial skydragon talismans. This way, the demonic sages would no longer be able to use these mental imprints to find him. Let's begin. Xia Ping sat cross-legged on the ground and immediately began refining the 3,000 primordial heavenly dragon talismans. At this moment, in the sky above Heimu City, the many demonic sages who were fighting with the human sages immediately sensed Zaram's abnormality. All of their expressions changed drastically. What's going on? Why did the mental connection with Zaram break off? Where's his aura? Why did it suddenly disappear without a trace? It's no longer on the Thunderbolt continent? One of the demonic sages had an extremely ugly expression. He had a bad feeling as though something unsettling was about to happen. It was as though Zaram was in trouble. Could he be dead? Upon hearing these words, the other demon saint of the Middle Ages voiced out his conjecture. Only death could explain the sudden interruption of the aura and the sudden disappearance of the aura. That's impossible. Zaram is a demonic sage of the Middle Ages. He has comprehended the law of time. He was only chasing after a puny immortal sage. How could he die? Who could kill him? A demonic sage of the Middle Ages exclaimed in disbelief. That's right. Don't say such baseless things. Don't shake our morale here. City Lord Patrick shouted angrily. He was very dissatisfied. Who knew how great the blow it would be to their morale by spreading rumors here? He felt that this was only a guess and should not be spouting nonsense here. The problem is that Wu Wudi is an immortal sage. Doesn't he have any helpers? If Zaram was flustered and exasperated during his escape, he might have fallen into that human bitch's trap and died. Deputy City Lord Randolph raised a different opinion. He still felt that Zaram was in trouble. Otherwise, Zaram's aura wouldn't have disappeared for no reason. It can't be. That bastard actually dared to kill a demonic sage of the demon race. Is he tired of living? If he didn't have such guts, why would he dare to come to Heimu City's demonic sage temple and steal our primordial heavenly dragon talismans? Damn it. How audacious. That Wu Wudi deserves to die 1,000 times over. He snatched over 2,000 primordial heavenly dragon talismans that we worked so hard to obtain. Now, he killed a demonic sage of the Middle Ages. This enmity is irreconcilable. We must kill that bastard and tear him into pieces. That bastard is too despicable. He came to Heimu City to kill and rob. What does he think our Heimu City is? Find him. We must find him. We can't let that Wu-Wuti off. The demonic sages of the Middle Ages roared angrily. Even after fighting with the humans for such a long time and being at a disadvantage, none of the demonic sages of the Middle Ages had died due to their strong vitality. At most, they were heavily injured. Now, in order to hunt down Wu-Wuti, the demon race had lost a primordial demon sage. What kind of humiliation was this? What kind of loss was this? How infuriating was this? If Wu-Wuti appeared in front of them, they could not wait to tear him into pieces and exterminate his entire clan. Not only had they lost precious treasures, but they had also lost a large number of demon race elites. Such hatred was higher than the mountains and deeper than the oceans. They could not imagine how furious they were at that moment. Chapter 2394. At this moment, the human sages also saw the expressions of the beast sages and heard their words. Haha, as expected, the person who stole the primordial heavenly dragon talisman escaped. A medieval sage laughed heartily. Not only did he escape, it seems like the medieval sage Zaram who went after him was also killed by that person. That's why the beast sages are so furious. Rain Sage touched his chin. No way, even a medieval sage was killed? What kind of joke is this? Are medieval sages that easy to kill? What's that kid's background? Is he not just an immortal sage? Who knows? There are many secret techniques in this universe that can kill medieval sages. It's just that the price is not high enough. Besides, how could he do such a thing without some means? Indeed. On the surface, he looks like he's alone. Who knows what kind of big shot is behind him? Anyway, this matter has nothing to do with us. The more beast sages die, the better. Now that another medieval sage beast has died, it seems like Heimu City can no longer compete with our Thunder City. We should chase after them and kill a few more beast sages. Then, Heimu City will no longer be a threat. The medieval sages laughed heartily. Intense killing intent radiated from their bodies. They wanted to chase after the beast sages and expand their victory. Boom, however, at this moment, a voice was transmitted to the depths of the consciousness of every medieval sage. It sounded like the voice of the great Tao. Come back. This matter ends here. What? The human sages were shocked when they heard this. The person who spoke was the Longevity Ancestor, a famous human ancestor who had reached the invincible realm. But, Ancestor, we already have victory in our hands. We are just one step away from exterminating these beast sages and driving them out of the Thunder Continent. Purple Thunder Sage asked in confusion. The beast ancestor already knows about this. They are willing to pay a certain price to end this matter. Don't continue. Otherwise, the beast ancestor will definitely take action. They will not sit idly by. The Longevity Ancestor's voice came from the depths of the void. Upon hearing this, many of the sages from the Middle Ages felt helpless. That was indeed the case. After all, this was a war between the races. If the demon race was truly enraged, it would not be surprising for the sages of the great ancestor level to personally intervene. In fact, if it were not for the fact that the demon race was afraid of the sages of the human race, they would have personally taken action and killed them on the spot. They would not have allowed them to continue behaving atrociously in this place. Even so, the casualties of the demon race sages were too high, which was not what the patriarchs wanted to see. Many demon sages had died, and even a medieval demon sage had already touched their bottom line. If they really shed all pretense of cordiality here, it would probably immediately trigger a war between the human clan and the demon clan. For the time being, they did not want the war to escalate. It was better to quit while they were ahead. All right, let's retreat. We've gotten quite a lot of benefits this time anyway. The Purple Thunder Sage nodded his head. He also knew when to advance and when to retreat. If this continued, the old ancestors of the demon race would no longer care about their pride and make a move. There was no need to continue provoking them. In any case, after this incident, these demon race sages would not dare to attack the human race for billions of years. This war was enough to teach them a painful lesson. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. At the thought of this, The Purple Thunder Sage immediately issued an order for the many sages on the battlefield to immediately stop and retreat. In a few breaths' time, all the human race sages had retreated from Hamu City, leaving behind a city that was close to ruins. Countless corpses of the demon race lay on the ground. Blood flowed like a river, and there were potholes and broken walls everywhere. What's going on? Why did the human race sages suddenly retreat? The immortal demon sage, who originally thought that it was doomed, was dumbfounded. It did not know why the human race sages, who had the upper hand, suddenly gave up and rapidly retreated like a receding tide. It looked at the rapidly retreating human race sages in a daze. It did not plan to chase after them because it no longer had the strength to do so. The patriarchs have made a move. A demon sage said in a deep voice, "Our demon race patriarchs will definitely not sit and watch Hamu's city be destroyed by the human race. They must have reached some kind of agreement with the human race, which is why they retreated." It had experienced countless racial wars and was naturally very experienced in such matters. Unless it was absolutely necessary, the two major races would have their own bottom line. They would not easily fall out and exterminate the other party. Sigh, our demon race has suffered heavy losses this time. I wonder how many demon sages have died. Even Hamu's city has been destroyed. A demon sage revealed a bitter expression. Although they had barely managed to repel the human race sages, more than half of the huge Hamu city had been destroyed. It was as though the place had been reduced to ruins. Furthermore, that bunch of shameless humans had taken the opportunity to plunder Hamu's city's treasures. The treasures that were originally placed in shops, private residences, and treasure vaults had now been plundered clean by that bunch of human scum. All the treasures that they had accumulated over the years had been snatched away. Just such a loss was enough to make them feel heart-wrenching pain, as though their flesh was being sliced off. Who is it? Which bastard is so despicable as to leak the news that we have the primordial heavenly dragon talismans? Don't let me find him. Otherwise, I'll definitely cut him into 8 pieces and dismember him into 10,000 pieces. Looking at the devastated Hamu city, a demon sage from the Middle Ages felt heart-wrenching pain. He gritted his teeth and was filled with grief and indignation. If the news of the primordial heavenly dragon talismans had not been leaked and exposed the demon race's plans, the human race would not have attacked Hamu City. Everything was done by the traitor who had leaked the demon race's internal information. Many of the ancient demon sages looked at each other in dismay. All of them felt that they were suspicious of each other, and none of them knew who the real traitor was. According to the Thunder City Lord, Purple Thunder Sage, their Hamu city had long been infiltrated like a sieve. It was possible that everyone present was a human traitor. At the thought of this, they felt a chill in their hearts. No matter which traitor did it, this matter is definitely related to that human sage, Wu Woody. The source of everything is that bastard. City Lord Patrick immediately pointed the spearhead at Wu Woody. That bitch snatched our primordial heavenly dragon talisman and killed Zurum. This is an irreconcilable hatred. We have to find him and destroy his soul. He hated Xia Ping to the core. If not for that bastard's appearance, the demon race's plan of many years would have succeeded. They would not have ended up in such a state. That's right. Capture that Wu Woody and kill him. Immediately issue the demon race's arrest warrant. Put that Wu Woody on the wanted list. He stole our demon race's supreme treasure. This is an irreconcilable hatred. The demon sages were filled with hatred. They could not wait to capture Wu Woody and swallow him alive. Chapter 2395. The news of the humans leading an army to destroy Hamu City, killing a number of demon sages, and snatching away the primordial heavenly dragon talismans could not be kept a secret. The news quickly spread throughout the Thunder Continent and even the Mystic Zones. That was because such a war was too rare. Such a large-scale war might not even happen once in a billion years, but it had happened today. Furthermore, the demons had suffered a crushing defeat, causing all the races in the universe to discuss it. What? The humans led an army to launch a surprise attack on Hamu City in the Thunder Sea region, resulting in the destruction of the entire demon city and the death of countless demon sages? Some sages were astonished when they heard the news. That's right. Why would the humans suddenly attack the demons? What's the reason behind it? Indeed, wars do not break out for no reason. Many sages also felt that the outbreak of the war was too strange. There were no signs at all. There is indeed a reason. The demons spent countless years collecting the primordial heavenly dragon talismans from all over the universe. They actually managed to collect more than 2,900 talismans and secretly devoured the source of the Thunder Continent. It is said that they even planned to use the primordial heavenly dragon talismans to tear apart Thunder City and kill most of the human sages in the city before completely occupying the entire Thunder Continent. However, they did not expect that their plan would somehow be discovered by the humans. This enraged the humans and they led an army to attack Heimu City. Some of the foreign race sages knew some insider information. Those demon sages are really useless. They were clearly defending the city, but it was still breached by the humans. What a bunch of trash. Even at the very least, they could hold on for a while and buy time for reinforcements to arrive. We can't blame the demon sages. Those humans are really despicable and shameless. They actually took a peerless sacred artifact, the Immortal Monument, and instantly tore apart the defenses of Heimu City, allowing the human sages to march straight in. Even so, how could such secretive news be discovered by the humans? If the demons are good at keeping secrets, then even after this matter is over, the humans won't know anything. That's where the problem lies. It is said that the demons have been infiltrated by the humans. They have developed many spies, causing all sorts of information to leak out. That's why they caused such a huge disaster. That's right. The upper echelons of the demon clan are furious. They've massacred a group of spies. They're investigating who the spies are. Now, the entire demon clan is in a state of panic. They're afraid that they'll be taken as spies and locked up in the demon clan's prison. Fuck, the human race has become so terrifying now. They can even infiltrate the demon race like a sieve. It's better to be careful. The human race is despicable and shameless. I'm guessing that they have planted spies in all the major races. Maybe there are human spies in both our races. Many sages felt the same way. The more they knew about the inside story, the more they feared the human race. The fiend race, which had such tight defenses and a strict hierarchy, had actually been easily infiltrated by the human race. Spies had been casually planted in the fiend race, and all sorts of secrets had been discovered everywhere. Then what about the other weaker races? Wouldn't they all become public toilets for humans to use whenever they wanted? They couldn't help but feel fearful of the human race, which was becoming more and more powerful. But this time, the humans have broken through Heimu City and plundered a large amount of wealth. I'm afraid that they've obtained a lot of benefits this time. A sage said with envy, "The human clan has indeed gained many benefits, but the one who has gained the most is someone called Wu Wudi." What do you mean by that? To tell you the truth, I was also shocked when I heard about this. That Wu Wudi is only an immortal sage, but he was so daring. He took advantage of the war between the human clan and the fiend race to sneak into Heimu City's Demon Saint Hall and instantly steal all the primordial heavenly dragon talismans that the fiend race had painstakingly collected for God knows how many years. Even the medieval demon saint, Zarum, came to hunt him down in an attempt to kill him. Who would have thought that he would die in the hands of Wu Wudi, which infuriated the fiend race? Do you think that Wu Wudi has gained the most benefits? A sage immediately revealed a huge piece of news. He actually stole more than 2,900 primordial heavenly dragon talismans. These can be considered the most precious treasures in Heimu City. If he could obtain the remaining dozens of primordial heavenly dragon talismans, he would immediately obtain a peerless sage artifact. That's a peerless sage artifact, a race's dharma treasure. Even ancient sages might not have one. Obtaining such a dharma treasure would naturally be the greatest benefit. A foreign race sage exclaimed, "Who is this Wu Wudi? Is he a genius immortal sage of the human race?" He's indeed from the human race, but he's not someone from the human race's sacred temple. He's a famous wanted criminal. It's said that he's from the Eastern Cosmos, and after he became famous, he went around committing crimes. From the Eastern Cosmos to the Western Cosmos, from the Southern Cosmos to the Northern Cosmos, and then into the Ordinary Zone. Now, he's come to the Mystic Zone. Who knows how many people he's killed and how many heinous crimes he's committed? Fuck, he's actually a wanted criminal of the universe. He has no background and no powerful being to back him up, but he's so daring that he even dares to touch the fiend race's treasures. He must be tired of living. Furthermore, he did it when the fiend race and the human race were at war. I don't even know how long he's been holding up. If he doesn't dare to move, then he wouldn't be Wu-Woody. It's said that his greatest strength isn't his combat strength, but his concealment skills. Once he hides, even if the medieval sages reverse time and look back to ancient times, they wouldn't be able to find his traces. Some people guessed that he must have cultivated a supreme concealment technique that could hide him from time. Or maybe he has a powerful magic treasure that can distort time. It's said that this matter also angered the fiend race's patriarch. The invincible demon saint personally tried to find traces of this kid in the ancient river of time, but it was all in vain. It seemed to be covered by some mysterious power and fell into layers of fog. If that's the case, it's no wonder that Wu-Woody is so arrogant. Even the invincible demon saint couldn't find any traces of him. Doesn't that mean that he can roam the entire universe freely? In short, we must keep an eye on this Wu-Woody. This guy is a habitual criminal. He goes around committing crimes without a fixed target. Who knows, he might take a fancy to our race's treasures and attack us. No way is this kid that fierce? He dares to attack anyone? What a joke. Don't think that he's a human. If he gets angry, he might even dare to steal from the human race's sacred palace. It's said that the human race is very wary of this kid. To be honest, he has personally killed many human almighties. Looks like we have to let the race's juniors know of this Wu-Woody's name. Once we find his whereabouts, we have to be on guard. Otherwise, our family's treasures will be stolen by this bastard. Many of the foreign race's sages discussed among themselves. They were even more afraid of Wu-Woody. This guy was a lawless madman who dared to do anything. He was also very strong. Chapter 2396. In the space of the mountain river Pearl, somewhere in seclusion. Beep beep. At that moment, the system's voice sounded. Congratulations, host. You have infuriated a large number of demonic sages of the demon race, instigating immense hatred. The demon race views you as their greatest enemy. You have obtained a total of 400 hatred crystals. I hope you will continue to work hard. 400 hatred crystals. Upon hearing that, Xia Ping's eyes lit up. He never expected that he would obtain so many hatred crystals from this operation. In addition to the hatred crystals he had obtained previously, he now had 1,580 hatred crystals. That was a huge sum of money. However, on careful thought, it was only natural. He had snatched more than 2,000 primordial heavenly dragon talismans. And it was unknown how much time and effort it took to gather these primordial heavenly dragon talismans. Now that he had snatched them away, years of effort had gone to waste. Years of planning had been destroyed just like that. It was imaginable how much the demonic sages hated him. They wanted nothing more than to get rid of him. They probably even had thoughts of wiping out their entire race. It wasn't surprising that he had obtained so many hatred crystals. However, Xia Ping quickly threw this matter to the back of his mind. The most important thing now was to refine the primordial heavenly dragon talismans on him. If he didn't remove all the mental imprints on the primordial heavenly dragon talismans, he would risk being exposed. Whoosh, with a wave of his hand, more than 2,900 primordial heavenly dragon talismans floated in midair. Each talisman was like a primordial heavenly dragon, emitting a domineering aura that caused the void to tremble and distort space. Refine. Xia Ping formed seals with both hands as his domineering spiritual perception invaded the primordial heavenly dragon talismans violently. Looking down from above, he forcefully took the power of the primordial heavenly dragon talismans for himself. as he had already subdued the will of the primordial heavenly dragon talismans with the infernal golden crow bloodline. Refining them was a piece of cake and did not require much effort. Boom. A domineering will invaded every primordial heavenly dragon talisman. It was extremely domineering, sweeping through everything, and was extremely exclusive. All the mental imprints engraved in the depths of the primordial heavenly dragon talismans were destroyed easily. In just a few moments, the mental imprints left on the primordial heavenly dragon talismans were completely destroyed. Far away in Hamu City, the primordial demon sages also sensed it. They could not help but spit out a mouthful of blood because the destruction of the spiritual imprint was equivalent to the destruction of a portion of their souls. Damn it, the mental imprint on the primordial sky dragon talisman has been completely destroyed. There's nothing left. What's going on? This is a spiritual imprint left behind by our primordial beast saint. It contains the power of time and space, an undying substance. That guy is just an undying, how could he destroy it? Regardless of how that fellow did it, the mental imprint on it has vanished. We are no longer able to find the primordial heavenly dragon talisman through the mental imprint. Damn you, Wu-Woody. Just you wait. Our demon clan will not let this matter rest. The ancient demon sages gritted their teeth and hated Xia Ping even more. However, the most frustrating thing was that they were helpless against this cunning and powerful fellow. Ah, there's even a spiritual imprint inside. Xia Ping raised his brows. After destroying the spiritual imprints left behind by the ancient demon sages, his divine perception permeated every corner of the primordial heavenly dragon talisman. He was shocked to discover that deep within the primordial heavenly dragon talisman, there was still a transparent spiritual imprint. And this spiritual imprint was much stronger than the ones left behind by the ancient demon sages. It was like maggots attached to the bone, deeply engraved in the deepest parts of the primordial heavenly dragon talisman. This transparent imprint seemed to transcend everything, hidden in the depths of time and space, appearing outside the dimension. Ordinary forces could not even touch it, much less destroy it. Moreover, it contained complete laws of the universe, stacked layer by layer, like a huge net that covered every corner. It was as if this transparent imprint was a complete small world, unfathomable. Dragon scientist Titania. Xia Ping's eyes lit up. He immediately recalled that the owner of this Dharma treasure was the dragon scientist who had reached the invincible realm, the universe-level wanted criminal Titania. Even though this Dharma treasure had once been destroyed by the combined forces of the sages, this peerless sacred artifact was nearly indestructible. Titania had many tricks up her sleeves, so it was not impossible for her to leave a powerful spiritual imprint on her intrinsic Dharma treasure. Due to the existence of this spiritual imprint, even if someone obtained this peerless sacred artifact, they would not be able to escape Titania's control. With a thought, she could retrieve this Dharma treasure. If this spiritual imprint could not be removed, then all that hard work would have gone to someone else. Hellfire Golden Crow Fire. Without another word, he circulated the Hellfire Golden Crow bloodline in the depths of his body. Immediately, wisps of dark golden hellfire seeped into the depths of every primordial heavenly dragon talisman, burning the transparent imprint on them. This. Xia Ping narrowed his eyes. The Hellfire Golden Crow Fire, which had always been successful and could burn anything, met its match when it came into contact with the transparent imprint. It was as if it had encountered a powerful resistance. Layers of nomological powers surged out, forming a nomological barrier. Even though the Golden Crow Hellfire could slowly burn the transparent imprint, because of its ability to burn anything, it was continuously burning and slowly melting the mental imprint. However, this speed was just too slow. It would probably take more than 100 years to completely remove the transparent imprint. It had to be said that it was indeed a spiritual imprint left behind by an invincible saint. Even after countless eras had passed, it was still difficult to remove and deal with. The power it contained was unfathomable and beyond imagination. Looks like I have to use other means. At the thought of this, Xia Ping's heart stirred. He wanted to borrow the power of the system. This was because the power of the system surpassed almost everything. Even the power of an invincible saint would not be able to withstand it. System, I want to completely refine this primordial heavenly dragon talisman. How many hatred crystals do I need? He inquired. This is a spiritual imprint left behind by an invincible saint. It contains the complete nomological powers of the universe. Even heavenly flames will find it difficult to remove it, so it will take a lot of effort to remove it. If the host wants to completely refine it, he will need 100 hatred crystals. The system answered. 100 hatred crystals. Xia Ping sighed inwardly. It was indeed a supreme system. It could even remove the spiritual imprint left behind by an invincible saint. It seemed like there was nothing it couldn't do. Although 100 hatred crystals was not a small amount, it was still worth it compared to the value of a peerless saint artifact. Moreover, he had just obtained 400 hatred crystals. A mere 100 hatred crystals was nothing. Refine it then. Xia Ping did not hesitate. Yes, host. As you wish. The system said. A powerful, ancient, and unfathomable power instantly enveloped the 3,000 primordial heavenly dragon talismans. Immediately, the transparent imprints melted like snow and disappeared rapidly. They couldn't resist for even a second. Chapter 2397. Somewhere in the universe's dimensional space. A mysterious laboratory. This was one of the dragon scientist Titania's secret lair. Suddenly, Titania's heart stirred. She sensed that something extremely close to her was rapidly leaving her, and she instantly severed the spiritual connection. She felt as though she had lost this treasure forever. What? The spiritual imprint I left in the primordial heavenly dragon talisman has been removed? Impossible. Who did it? Even an invincible saint wouldn't be able to do something like that. Titania's beautiful eyes lit up. To be honest, she was indeed a little shocked. This was because her intrinsic Dharma treasure, the primordial heavenly dragon talisman, had left behind her powerful spiritual imprint. Even an invincible saint wouldn't be able to remove such a spiritual imprint. It was precisely because they knew this that those invincible saints had no interest in the primordial heavenly dragon talisman. They only scattered the 3,000 talismans in every corner of the universe. After all, there was no point in keeping this peerless sacred artifact that she couldn't control by her side. Instead, it would expose her every move to Titania. However, the spiritual imprint that even an invincible saint couldn't remove had been removed by someone today. Furthermore, it had been forcefully severed from her spiritual connection with the primordial heavenly dragon talisman. Such power was simply unimaginable. It was like a god. Interesting. Titania stroked her smooth chin. Although this primordial heavenly dragon talisman is just a Dharma treasure I casually created, it took me a lot of effort. In order to prevent others from snatching it away, I even left a heavenly dragon imprint on it. Apart from me, no one can completely control it. I didn't expect that there would be someone who could surpass my spiritual imprint and completely eradicate the spiritual imprint inside. This is very interesting. How did he do it? She didn't care much about the primordial heavenly dragon talisman that she had lost. With enough materials and time, she could reforge such a Dharma treasure, and it would be even more powerful than before. Now, she was only extremely curious about how she had lost this Dharma treasure. This required spiritual power that surpassed her to be able to do such a thing. But in the entire universe, there weren't many existences who could surpass her in spiritual power. She wasn't bragging, but there weren't many who could do so. And such existences wouldn't be interested in the primordial heavenly dragon talisman. Thinking of this, Titania stretched out her hand and tapped lightly. Ripples appeared in the depths of the void, as if a powerful neural network had appeared, spreading to all parts of the universe, connecting countless information. After a long time, she opened her eyes. So that's how it is. The person who stole my 3,000 primordial heavenly dragon talismans was actually that human, Wu Wudi. This must be fate. I'm getting more and more interested in this little guy. Titania giggled, her starry eyes filled with interest. She felt that her dying star was about to come back to life, and it was burning hot again. In this universe, there weren't many things and people that could interest her. Without a doubt, Wu Wudi was one of them. Looks like I have to hurry up and find this little guy. I really want to capture him and dissect him to see what kind of structure he has inside. Titania stretched, revealing her perfect and curvaceous figure. She gave off a mature aura, and her beautiful eyes were filled with passion and madness. Within the pearl of mountains and rivers, a few days later. I've finally succeeded. I have refined 3,000 primordial heavenly dragon talismans. Xia Ping took a deep breath. Although he looked exhausted, he couldn't hide the excitement deep in his eyes. With the help of the system, he had finally cleared the spiritual imprint deep within the primordial heavenly dragon talismans. He could completely control the 3,000 primordial heavenly dragon talismans and didn't need to worry about being plotted against by others. Therefore, he infused his spiritual imprint into the 3,000 primordial heavenly dragon talismans and completely refined them, making himself the true owner of the primordial heavenly dragon talismans. Boom! In an instant, the 3,000 primordial heavenly dragon talismans fused together. The talismans stacked on top of each other, finally forming a dragon pearl about the size of a fist. And this dragon pearl was unfathomable, as though it contained the power of 3,000 laws. Countless laws intertwined with each other, forming a complete world within the dragon pearl. This is the Peerless Sage artifact, the primordial heavenly dragon talisman. Xia Ping could sense the power of this dragon pearl. It seemed to emit the aura of the primordial chaos, ancestral dragon, origins, and so on. At the same time, it also contained the power of countless laws. Buzz. There seemed to be a golden vortex in its depths that constantly spun. It produced a powerful devouring force that constantly devoured the surrounding void's origins to strengthen itself. And deep within the dragon pearl was a strange chaos world of the light continent. The 3,000 nomological forces intertwined with each other and fused with each other, forming a complete entity. There was even a terrifying primordial heavenly dragon slumbering in the chaos world. Its body was extremely massive, as though it could span dozens of star domains. It was so huge that it seemed boundless. Once this primordial heavenly dragon awoke from the dragon race, it would immediately erupt with the power to tear apart the void and destroy the primordial chaos. What's this? Just as Xia Ping was about to carefully study the Peerless Sage artifact, the primordial heavenly dragon talisman, an extremely massive energy suddenly surged out from the depths of the dragon pearl. It seemed to be the origins energy from the Thunder Continent. Originally, the primordial Fey sages had used the primordial heavenly dragon talismans to devour the origins of the Thunder Continent and store all of it in these primordial heavenly dragon talismans. Now, it erupted all at once, surging to every corner of his body like a tidal wave. In an instant, he felt the dermic powers in his body skyrocketing, and constantly skyrocketing. Originally, every spatial cell in his body was incomparably empty and in a state of emptiness. It would take months and billions of years for them to be filled up. This required painstaking effort. However, after obtaining the massive Thunder Continent's origins energy, it immediately saved him tens of millions of years of cultivating dermic powers, causing his dermic powers to skyrocket. In just a few breaths' time, the dermic powers in his body had risen to the limit. It was as though he had touched the bottleneck of the near ancient sage early stage at this moment. I'm about to break through. Xia Ping's eyes lit up. He felt that he had suddenly obtained such a massive origins energy. It was equivalent to consuming a large number of rare elixirs that were frantically helping him increase his dermic powers, saving him a lot of effort in condensing dermic powers. All of this seemed to happen naturally without any hindrance. He sensed that he was about to break through to the near ancient sage early stage, and this realm was just within his reach. He could easily cross it with just one step. Chapter 2398. After an unknown period of time, Xia Ping's body shook. It was as if countless golden crows of hell were crying out in his body, forming a resonance with the laws of space. The void within a radius of hundreds of light years was constantly shaking, and ripples could be seen with the naked eye. At this moment, as if the conditions were right, the huge energy came crashing over with unstoppable force. The bottleneck in his body had been broken, and it was as if the sea and the sky were wide open. Whoosh! In an instant, the Thunder Mainland's origin energy from the depths of the ancient heavenly dragon talisman surged into the 9 purple mansions like a tide. And the 9 purple mansions were like dew after a long drought, greedily devouring the origin energy. It was as if water had moisturized the dry land, and it made one's heart sink. I've leveled up. Xia Ping sensed that he had finally stepped into a new sage realm, middle stage near ancient realm. After spending some time, he had stepped into a new sage realm effortlessly. At this moment, his sea of consciousness expanded and expanded continuously, as if Pangu was splitting heaven and earth apart. The chaotic region in the depths of his sea of consciousness was constantly being opened up. His spiritual sense had also improved by leaps and bounds. 400 light years, 450 light years, 500 light years, and when it finally stopped, his spiritual sense had expanded to a range of 700 light years. This is a new space domain. My speed has become even faster. Xia Ping sensed that he could cover a radius of 700 light years with his divine sense in an instant. His space domain had also become much more powerful than before. It was simply indescribable. It was as if he could teleport 700 light years with just a thought. This speed was much faster than before. Even the speed of the Middle Ages sages, under the premise of using the space domain, would not be comparable to his. He might be able to cross a small star field in an instant. It's not as simple as my speed becoming faster. The space domain has also become stronger and more indestructible. Xia Ping displayed his space domain. Buzz, in the blink of an eye, with his body as the center, a huge spherical space domain enveloped an area of 700 light years. Densely packed space law patterns covered the entire spherical space domain, like the patterns on an ancient turtle shell. It also seemed like a spatial barrier, containing an unfathomable power of space. It was precisely because of these space laws that his space domain became even more indestructible. It was as if the space domain on his body had formed a space enchantment. It was almost condensed into a space barrier. Even medieval saints who had reached the Middle Ancient realm and comprehended the time law would need to expend a tremendous amount of energy to shake such a space domain. If a near-ancient saint of the same level were to fall into this domain, they would immediately be suppressed as if they were sealed. With such a powerful space domain, even if he did not have any defensive sacred artifacts, it would not be a problem. In other words, his divine ability was equivalent to a powerful sage artifact. My magic power has greatly increased as well. Xia Ping clenched his fists and felt that his body was filled with extremely abundant power. Every inch of his muscles was filled with the explosive power of a star. A breath could cause a spatial storm, and a punch or kick could shatter the vacuum. Thanks to the growth of the power of his divine sense, his understanding of the space law had become even deeper. It was as if his soul had completely integrated into every part of the void, seeping into the origin of the universe. Countless space law fragments and information from the void of the universe were like a tide, fusing into his limbs and bones, causing his entire body to become more spatialized. Every cell in his body had become an independent space. Because of this, every cell in his body seemed to have turned into a black hole. With just a slight breath, they could devour the cosmic energy within a radius of hundreds of light years. The area within a radius of 700 light years would become a vacuum, an absolute forbidden area. It seems that I'm not far from the great perfection realm. He silently comprehended the space law patterns. These space law fragments all gathered in the depths of his sea of consciousness, as if forming a sickle-shaped crescent moon. If these space law fragments were completely perfected and turned into a complete full moon, it would be the moment when he advanced to the peak of the near-ancient realm. At that time, he would be able to comprehend the time law and step into the Middle Ancient realm. My bloodline is also stronger than before. Xia Ping's eyes shone brightly. Reaching the mid-stage near Ancient Realm had not only boosted his magic power and the power of his divine sense, but his infernal Golden Crow bloodline had also improved. Originally, he had awakened 36 billion Golden Crow of Hell cells, but after advancing to the near Ancient Realm, he had awakened 50 billion Golden Crow of Hell cells. This was a lot stronger than before. He felt that the Golden Crow of Hell bloodline in the depths of his body had become stronger. It was as if countless Golden Crow of Hell divine abilities and the power of laws were surging out from the depths of these cells. This also made the bloodline in his body even more incredible. It was as if with just a thought, this bloodline that came from a divine beast could corrode the space in reality. If it was not for him forcefully suppressing the corrosive power of the Golden Crow of Hell bloodline, he was afraid that wherever he descended, the low-level creatures there would immediately be forcibly transformed into the Golden Crow of Hell's kin. Right now, he was so strong that it made people's hair stand on end. Even if a drop of the Golden Crow of Hell's blood fell on a planet, it would transform the planet into a land of magma. At every moment, it would erupt with flames and burn the void. Over time, this planet might turn into an eternal sun, shining brightly and illuminating every corner of the dark vacuum, dispelling the darkness. I didn't expect to receive such benefits after completely refining the ancient heavenly dragon talisman. Xia Ping was overjoyed. Those demon sages used the ancient heavenly dragon talisman to devour the Thunder Mainland's origin energy for billions of years. They probably didn't expect that all the energy would belong to him. Thanks to this extremely pure origin energy, his cultivation base instantly rose to the near ancient mid-stage. It even filled up his entire body with magic power. This saved him many years of effort in condensing magic power. This was no less than a fortuitous encounter. If those demon sages were to find out that the energy they worked so hard to obtain had all gone to Xia Ping, benefiting someone else, they would probably vomit blood on the spot. But no matter what, these 3,000 ancient heavenly dragon talismans were all in his hands. He had also completely refined them and engraved his spiritual imprint deep within them. Therefore, even his former master, Titania, would not be able to snatch these 3,000 ancient heavenly dragon talismans from him, let alone the demon sages of Heim City. Chapter 2399. Is this the complete primordial Skydragon talisman? Xia Ping grabbed with his hand and immediately took out the primordial Skydragon talisman. At that moment, the 3,000 primordial Skydragon talismans had already fused into one, forming a spherical shape. The laws of the 3,000 universes gathered together in an endless cycle. The 5 elements fused as one, yin and yang fused together. Ordinary forces were unable to disperse it. The entire sphere emitted an ancient, chaotic, and powerful aura. And the sphere itself seemed to be a complete, gigantic world. It possessed complete laws of the world. Perhaps even the space-time domain of the medieval sages was unable to distort the space-time of this world. More importantly, deep within the sphere were 3,000 primordial skydragons. It was as though he could summon the 3,000 primordial skydragons to destroy the world with a mere thought. Heavens, is this the legendary peerless sacred artifact? It's really beautiful. At that moment, the item Spirit Azure Ox ran out. It looked at the primordial Skydragon talisman with an infatuated look. To Dharma treasures like them, a peerless sacred artifact was the pinnacle of existence. It was equivalent to an idol that they would never have the chance to see under normal circumstances. Indeed, the nomological powers it contains are too perfect. It has already condensed into a single entity without any flaws. It's as though it's a world by itself. This is an existence that stands at the pinnacle of countless Dharma treasures. Corinne flew out as well with a look of excitement. He had the urge to pounce forward and touch it. After all, it was a legendary existence. Even his master back then did not have the right to touch it. In fact, he did not even have the right to see it, much less touch it. Master! At that moment, a weak voice sounded from the depths of the sphere. Following that, a palm-sized primordial skydragon phantom floated out of the sphere. Without a doubt, It was the primordial sky dragon talisman's item spirit. You are the item spirit of the primordial sky dragon talisman? From the looks of it, you seem injured? Xia Ping inquired. He was not worried that the item spirit would betray him. This was because the Dharma treasure had been completely refined by him. Even if it had sentience, it could not escape his control. He immediately sensed that the item spirit seemed to be in a weakened and injured state. Yes, I am the item spirit of the primordial sky dragon talisman. The primordial sky dragon phantom nodded. Just as Master said, I've suffered serious injuries. It seems that during the primordial war, I was torn apart by the combined forces of many sages and scattered across the universe. Even though the 3,000 primordial heavenly dragon talismans have been gathered once again due to Master, allowing me to regain my original strength, my injuries still haven't healed. This has left me in an unprecedented state of weakness. Firstly, most of my memories have vanished. I don't remember what happened back then at all. In other words, you lost your memory? Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. It's not as simple as losing my memories. My primordial sky dragon's origins has dissipated and I'm extremely weak. I need to devour large amounts of the dragon race's origins to recover to my peak state. The primordial sky dragon said in a deep voice, that's why I appeared. I hope Master can find a way for me to devour large amounts of the dragon race's origins to rapidly recover from my injuries. It indicated that it was very weak and incomparable to the primordial sky dragon talisman at its peak. It was even a distance away from the other true peerless sacred artifacts. But even so, as one of the strongest peerless sacred artifacts, the primordial sky dragon talisman was still bigger than a horse. It was not something ordinary peerless sacred artifacts could compare with. Firstly, it still possessed two abilities. The first was to conjure a projection of the primordial dragon world. As long as it devoured sufficient origins, it could conjure a projection of the primordial dragon world. Such might could instantly destroy a world. Previously, the sage demon of Heimu City had wanted to use this ability to conjure a projection of the primordial dragon world to instantly destroy all the restrictive array formations and defensive systems of Thunder City. Such might was extremely terrifying. It was as though the primordial dragon world had appeared in the world. Even the space-time domain of the sages of the Middle Ages could not shake the power of the primordial dragon world. The second ability was to summon an army of primordial sky dragons. Each of the 3,000 primordial sky dragon talismans could transform into a terrifying existence like a primordial sky dragon. Back at its peak, it could summon an army of 3,000 primordial sky dragons. Each primordial sky dragon represented the pinnacle of the nomological powers of the universe. Each of them had the power to destroy a world. The simultaneous appearance of 3,000 primordial sky dragons could destroy everything and wipe out a race. However, to conjure such power, the primordial sky dragon talisman needed to devour the origins of a world. Previously, Titania had gone overboard by destroying many worlds and devouring their origins. She had shaken the foundations of the universe's origins and committed a grave mistake. That was why she became the public enemy of the universe and was attacked by many invincible sages. That is to say, to recover from your injuries, you need to head to the dragon realm and devour its origins. Xia Ping narrowed his eyes. That's right, Master. That's exactly what I meant. The primordial sky dragon phantom nodded. The problem is that I don't know where the dragon realm is? Xia Ping said. In fact, he wasn't the only one who didn't know. Even the humans, demons, and other races didn't know where the dragon realm was. It was said that the dragon realm was a moving world. The location it appeared in every time was uncertain and random. Even if invincible sages expended effort to infer where the dragon realm would appear, it would change again the next time. Therefore, over time, sages stopped doing such an arduous and unrewarding task. After all, there were just too many experts in the dragon realm. There was no need, nor were sages willing to offend the dragons. It's all right. I can sense where the dragon realm will appear. The primordial sky dragon phantom said in a deep voice. In fact, this is a power that every dragon possesses. It can sense where the dragon realm will appear at any time. Furthermore, with the primordial Sky Dragon Talisman's power, one can enter the dragon realm silently without being discovered by the powerful old antiques in the depths of the dragon realm. Interesting. If that's the case, I can go take a look. Upon hearing that, Xia Ping could not help but stroke his chin, feeling intrigued. That was because the dragon realm was just too mysterious. It could be said to be one of the most mysterious worlds in the entire universe. Even the patriarchs of the human race didn't know much about it. Every item that came out of the dragon realm was priceless, attracting the pursuit of countless sages. In fact, if not for the invasion of the abyssal fiendish demons in the primordial era, forcing the dragon race to join forces with the other races, the dragon race would still be a mystery to this day. None of the information would have been leaked. If he had a chance to enter the dragon realm to take a look, he naturally wouldn't miss the opportunity. He might even be able to find large amounts of treasures and benefits in the dragon realm. Chapter 2400. Thunder Continent, Thunder City. Xia Ping had just finished his seclusion and returned to Thunder City. He planned to rest for a few days before heading to the dragon realm. After all, he was quite interested in the mysterious dragon realm. However, he had just defeated the monster race. As the #1 hero of the war, he probably had to report to Purple Thunder Sage and the others before he could leave. At this time, Thunder City was in a celebratory mood. There were lanterns and streamers everywhere. This was because the human race had won the war. Not only did they not suffer many losses, but they also plundered a large number of treasures from Heimu City. Everyone had made a fortune. There might not be such an opportunity in billions of years. This was no less than a fortuitous encounter. Beep beep. At this time, Xia Ping's communication device rang. It's a message from Purple Thunder Sage. Corinne reminded him. Answer it. Xia Ping nodded. With a beep, Purple Thunder Sage's voice was immediately transmitted. Fengdu Sage, where are you now? I just returned to Thunder City. What's the matter? Xia Ping asked. No. After the war ended, we didn't find any trace of you. We thought something happened to you. But since you're fine, that's for the best. By the way, we will have a celebration banquet later. As the #1 hero of the war, I wonder if you're interested in coming. Many sages want to meet you. In fact, if Xia Ping had not provided them with information about Heimu City, they would never have discovered the monster race's plot and won the war. Therefore, it was not too much to say that Xia Ping was the biggest hero. There's no need for that. I'm not in the mood to attend the banquet. Xia Ping was not interested in such a social occasion. If that's the case, then forget it. The Purple Thunder Sage did not insist and said, however, you have to be more careful in the near future. Perhaps the news of you leaking information about the demonic race has already been found out by the demonic race. Right now, that group of demonic beast sages are probably treating you as a thorn in their side, and they can't wait to get rid of you. Stay in Thunder City and don't go out easily. Otherwise, you might be ambushed by the monster race. After all, they really want to know how their information was leaked. He reminded Xia Ping to be careful. After all, Heimu City had suffered heavy losses this time. Not only had a bunch of immortal demon sages and near primordial demon sages died, but even a primordial demon sage had perished. This was a severe loss. After those demon sages found out about Xia Ping, they would probably want to skin him alive and pull out his tendons. Even though they had kept a tight lid on this information, the demon race's methods were unfathomable. Moreover, there were many mouths, so the demon race was able to find out that Xia Ping had leaked information about Heimu City. However, staying in Thunder City was still a guarantee of safety. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye out. Hearing these words, Xia Ping nodded. He didn't think much of it. Now that he had more debts than he could bear, and he had already refined 2 clones and a universe treasure like the Death Substitute Talisman, his ability to protect himself had greatly increased. Even if the other party sent an ancient demon saint to kill him, he could easily escape. The most important thing was that he had reached the mid-near ancient stage, and his strength had increased greatly. He was much more powerful than before. It was simply a fool's dream for an ordinary demon's saint to assassinate him. After saying this, the Purple Thunder Sage hung up the phone. Since he had reminded Xia Ping to be careful, he had done his part. There was no need for him to continue speaking. Xia Ping's figure flashed, and he immediately returned to the front of his villa. Brother Fengdu. At this moment, a 5-meter-tall giant with horns on his head suddenly appeared in front of the villa. He walked over with big strides. Who are you? Xia Ping raised his eyebrows and looked at this giant. The other party was actually a sage who had reached the peak of the near-ancient stage. However, he wasn't from the human race, but a vassal race of the human race, the sage of the Longhorn race. I'm the Golden Horn Sage, but I'm just a nobody. How can I compare to a famous genius like Brother Fengdu? The Golden Horn Sage laughed. It said that Brother Fengdu could kill near-ancient stage as an immortal the moment you appeared in the stormy sea region. Your battle prowess is world-shaking and rarely seen. Now, you've made a huge contribution and obtained top-secret information about the demon race through a mysterious method. You're the biggest contributor in dealing with Haemus City this time. Your future can be said to be boundless. Interesting. You've investigated my information? Xia Ping narrowed his eyes and looked at the Golden Horn Sage. Don't be nervous, Brother Fengdu. Collecting information is just a small hobby of mine. Moreover, information about an unparalleled genius like Brother Fengdu is everywhere. How can I hide it? However, it's a pity that you're going to die today. As soon as he finished speaking, a horrifying killing intent exploded from the Golden Horn Sage's body. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. In the blink of an eye, 3 figures flew out from the Golden Horn Sage's body. Each of them emitted a towering aura. Demonic aura soared into the sky and shook the void, covering a radius of tens of millions of kilometers. These figures were demon sages who had reached the Middle Ancient stage. Among them, 2 were at the early Middle Ancient stage, and 1 was at the intermediate Middle Ancient stage. All of them had mastered the law of time and comprehended the space-time territory. What? Xia Ping's pupils contracted. He didn't sense the aura of the 3 Middle Ancient demon sages at all. Although he could sense the Golden Horn Sage's evil intentions, he didn't notice that the 3 Middle Ancient demon sages were hiding among them. Obviously, the 3 Middle Ancient demon sages were hiding in one of the space treasures on the Golden Horn Sage's body. They were waiting for the critical moment to attack. That was why they could hide from his divine consciousness. However, how did the 3 Middle Ancient demon sages hide from the Thunder City scanning system? How did they sneak into the Thunder City and arrive at his place? Obviously, now was not the time to think about this. He had to face the attack of the 3 Middle Ancient demon sages. Fengdu, go to hell. A genius that only appears once in billions of eras is going to die in our hands today. I'm so excited. Killing an immortal sage. Such a battle record is indeed rare. You might become another Dark North sage in the future. It's a pity that you're too arrogant. How dare you help the humans to destroy our Haemus City and cause great losses to the demon sages. This is a crime punishable by death. We definitely won't forgive you. Fengdu, today is the day you die. Your journey will end today. Rest in peace and go on your way. The 3 Middle Ancient demon sages attacked at the same time. Their demonic chi soared into the sky. The 3 space-time territories on their bodies shrouded down at the same time. In an instant, the space-time within a radius of tens of millions of kilometers froze. It was as if everything had come to a standstill. Everything in the space-time territory was unable to move. They looked at Xia Ping as if they were looking at a dead man. The power of the territory that could freeze space-time was not something a puny immortal sage could resist. Killing immortals in the Middle Ancient stage was as easy as killing a chicken. Chapter 2401. Thunder City City Lord Mansion. City Lord Purple Thunder Sage, Deputy City Lord Rain Sage, and other important figures appeared here. At this moment, the City Lord Mansion was hosting a banquet. The hall was filled with a dazzling array of food. Many beautiful maids shuttled through the hall, continuously serving food. How is it? Did you inform Fengdu? Is he not willing to come? A sage asked. No way, I informed him just now, but he doesn't seem to like to appear in such places, so he rejected me. City Lord Purple Thunder Sage shrugged helplessly. Brother Purple Thunder, could it be that he doesn't even give you face? A sage teased. No, please don't say that. I'm not some important figure, so why would I care about face? Some people just don't like to socialize and are eccentric. This isn't about face or not. Purple Thunder Sage waved his hands. Brother Purple Thunder is truly magnanimous. No wonder the upper echelons value you so much, becoming the Thunder City Lord. However, it's a pity that Fengdu didn't come. I originally wanted to ask him where he got his information from. Will he answer just because I asked? This is his secret channel. How can it be so easy to ask? This is information that even our human race's intelligence system can't find. If he doesn't answer, then so be it. It's just that he is so well informed. Who knows, we might have a chance to work together in the future. He might know some information about secret treasures. One more friend is one more path. That's true. However, if he doesn't come, there's nothing we can do. Perhaps we have to find another way to befriend him. Many sages discussed. They were also very interested in this #1 hero of the war and wanted to befriend him. However, since he refused to come, there was nothing they could do. Rumblech, however, at the moment when the 3 demon sages of the Middle Ages chose to attack Xiaping, a terrifying space-time force immediately erupted in a corner of the Thunder City. It distorted the space-time and caused the entire Thunder City to shake violently. It seemed that even the restrictive formation here was trembling. The energy waves from the ancient demonic sages couldn't be hidden at all. In an instant, all the sages at the banquet felt this intense energy wave. Damn it! 3 ancient demonic sages have infiltrated our Thunder City. The City Lord, Purple Thunder Saint, had an extremely unsightly expression on his face. The demonic saint had brazenly invaded the Thunder City and even caused such a terrifying battle. This was the first time since the establishment of the Thunder City. This was simply a slap to his face. If demon saints could invade Thunder City at will, then how could Thunder City be safe? This would make him the laughingstock of many city lords. If it was serious, they might even be punished by the higher-ups. What's going on? Were the 3 primordial demon sages crazy? They actually have the guts to invade Thunder City. Are they not afraid of death? Some of the saints from the Middle Ages were shocked. In fact, the universe was boundlessly vast and contained endless methods. If one paid a certain price, then sneaking into Thunder City wasn't something impossible. The problem was that if they were to make a move in the territory of the human race, then it would be a completely different matter, and it would be impossible to conceal it. Unless these demon saints didn't want to leave Thunder City alive. Otherwise, how would they dare to commit suicide? Oh no, the direction of the space-time fluctuation seems to be the residence of Sage Fengdu. They have made a move on Sage Fengdu. Ein Listener Saint's expression changed as he immediately sensed something. Damn it. How dare they attack and assassinate the sages of the human clan in the territory of the human clan? They're courting death. Activate the restrictive formation of the Thunder City immediately and kill all 3 of these ancient demon sages. Purple Thunder Saint flew into a rage. If the 3 primordial demon sages had merely invaded Thunder City, then it would be fine. However, they actually came to Thunder City to assassinate a human race sage. Furthermore, the sage was the greatest contributor of this war. If they succeeded, it would be a slap to the face of the human race. They would become the laughingstock of the human race and even cast a shadow over their glorious victory. Because if they couldn't even protect the lives of the greatest contributor of this war, who would still believe in the strength of the human race? Quick, inform the old ancestor. The Rain Listener Saint frantically sent emails to the human race patriarch because he was worried that the demon race patriarch might be behind the assassination. Perhaps the demon race patriarch would personally rescue the 3 ancient demon sages. He had to think of all ways to stop these 3 primordial demon sages. Even if the assassination was successful, He definitely couldn't let these 3 murderers leave Thunder City alive. The other sages also sent emails frantically. Fengdu, please don't die. Purple Thunder Saint's expression turned ugly as he desperately flew far away. However, he felt that the chances of Sage Fengdu surviving were too slim. After all, the 3 primordial demon sages had chosen this moment to attack and catch them off guard. Their goal was to kill Sage Fengdu instantly. How could they give Sage Fengdu a chance to live? Even if they wanted to activate the Thunder City's restrictive formation, it would require a certain amount of time. It couldn't be activated on a whim. During the time it took for the Thunder City's restrictive formation to be activated, it was enough for the primordial demon sages to attack dozens of times. He didn't think that a mere undying sage could survive against a primordial demon sage who had comprehended the space-time domain. Even so, he did his best and left it up to fate. He rushed over as fast as he could, hoping to save Sage Fengdu and not let this human genius die. At this moment, on the other side, 3 primordial demon sages and 1 near primordial demon sage charged towards Xia Ping at the same time. They covered the sky and filled the air with killing intent. Space-time imprisonment. 3 primordial demon sages and 1 near primordial demon sage came to assassinate me. The demon race sure is generous. Xia Ping's eyes revealed a cold gleam. Not only was he not afraid, but he was also extremely excited. Previously, when the human race and demon race were at war, he didn't activate the Universe Virtual Network's recording function to prevent his information from being leaked. That way, no matter how many primordial demon sages he killed, he wouldn't be able to obtain any points. Otherwise, after killing so many primordial demon sages in the Demon Saint Hall, his points would have skyrocketed. Unfortunately, in order to keep it a secret, he could only reluctantly give up his points. But now, there were 3 primordial demon sages and 1 near primordial demon sage coming for him. This was a great opportunity. If he could kill all of them, his points would skyrocket immediately. One must know that killing an early primordial demon sage was worth 1 billion points. Killing a middle primordial demon sage was worth 3 billion points. Even a near primordial demon sage was worth 500 million points. They added up to 5.5 billion points. Therefore, in Xia Ping's eyes, they weren't assassins, but a huge mobile treasure vault. If he could kill all of them, he would immediately become rich. Chapter 2402. Kiki, Human Fengdu, I bet you didn't expect that you would be assassinated by us in the human territory. Let me tell you honestly, you will die even if you hide in the human territory after being targeted by us. One of the ancient demonic overlord laughed and looked down at Xia Ping. He was confident of his victory. With the 3 space-time domains enveloping him, not to mention a mere undying sage, even a medieval sage wouldn't be able to move. Within the space-time domain, not only was the space frozen, even time had stopped. This kid was like a turtle in a jar. He couldn't move at all and was instantly trapped. A puny undying sage like you should be proud to die in the hands of us 3 ancient demonic overlords. Don't even think about getting help. We understand the entire Thunder City's restriction array very well. To fully activate it, we will need at least 3 minutes. During this time, we can kill you tens of times. Another ancient demonic overlord seemed to have Xia Ping in his grasp. Perhaps you want to seek help from Purple Thunder Sage and the rest. Unfortunately, we have already thought of this. They are currently celebrating in the City Lord Mansion. Even if they want to rush here, they will need some time. You won't be able to wait for help. In order to assassinate Xia Ping, they had already thought of a complete plan without any loopholes. Stop talking nonsense with this kid. Hurry up and kill him. The remaining ancient demonic overlord revealed a cold gleam in its eyes. Its killing intent was extremely heavy. It had no intention of talking nonsense with Xia Ping. It only wanted to kill this human sage instantly and complete its mission before escaping. After all, this was the human territory. Who knew what might happen? It was better to complete its mission first. That's simple. I just need to move slightly and he will be crushed into pieces by my space-time domain. A puny undying sage actually dares to interfere in the war between the 2 races. He simply doesn't know his place. This time, I want to kill the chicken to scare the monkey. I want to show you foolish humans the consequences of trying to resist us. One of the ancient demonic overlords sneered. With a thought, it controlled the space-time domain. The entire void seemed to collapse, shattering the vacuum. A terrifying power pressed towards Xia Ping's body. In the face of such power, even a planet would be crushed into powder. Even an undying sage's undying cells would turn into ashes under the pressure of the space-time domain. However, at that moment, when the power of the space-time domain bombarded Xia Ping's body, his expression changed drastically. He suddenly realized that his space-time domain was unable to crush the human race saint in front of him. It felt that its space-time domain was pressing down on an indestructible rock. No, it should be crushing a large world with a spatial barrier. How is this possible? It can't be compressed or crushed. What's going on? The demon sage of the Middle Ages was shocked. He simply couldn't believe his eyes. Damn it, this is the domain of space. Our intel was wrong. This Feng Du isn't an immortal saint. He's already reached the near-ancient realm and comprehended the space laws. Furthermore, he's not just at the early near-ancient realm, he's already at the mid-near-ancient realm. Bastard! Which intelligence officer collected this information? When did this bastard reach the near-ancient realm? Did the intelligence officer grow up eating shit? You can't even tell the difference between immortal and ancient. The few demon saints cursed loudly. They were simply furious. They immediately had a bad feeling. Their target was not an undying saint, but a near-ancient saint who comprehended the law of space. One should know that the difference between the two was at least 10 times. At this moment, they simply wanted to tear that intelligence officer's soul to shreds. Mistaking the target's strength was a fatal mistake. It would cast a huge shadow on their assassination. Forget it. So what if he's a near-ancient saint? Even a near-ancient saint has to die against us 3 demon sages. A demon sage of the Middle Ages roared angrily. It was completely furious. No matter what, they had to kill the culprit of the human race today. However, at this moment, Xia Ping took a step forward. The space domain that had a diameter of 700 light-years suddenly burst out. It simply swept through the 9 heavens and 10 earths. It was like a projection of a world bombarding down. Bang! With just one strike, the 3 space-time domains that covered a radius of tens of millions of kilometers were torn apart like paper by this tyrannical power. A terrifying energy storm immediately set off in the surroundings. A huge mushroom cloud floated up as if it was shaking the entire Thunder City. It was as if an earthquake of magnitude 18 had occurred. All the humans in the Thunder City could feel the vibration that shook the void. Even the Purple Thunder Saint and the Rain Listener Saint who were rushing over were stunned, not knowing what had happened. Impossible. This is the space-time domain that our demon sage of the Middle Ages unleashed. It can confine time and space. Even if you've advanced to the near-ancient realm, how can you shake our space-time domain? The eyes of the 3 demon sages and the near-ancient saint almost popped out. They simply could not believe that a mere near-ancient saint could use his own space-time domain to tear apart their space-time domain. Such a thing was simply unheard of. It was like a rabbit suddenly going crazy and killing a lion with one kick. Their space-time domain was instantly shattered. This caused the 3 demon sages to suffer a certain degree of injury. They almost vomited a mouthful of blood. However, they still endured it. They could not embarrass themselves in front of this human saint. Otherwise, if word got out that the 3 great demon sages of the Middle Ages had been shaken to the point of vomiting blood by a near-ancient sage, they would become enemies and become the laughingstock of countless sages. Bullshit. Xia Ping took another step forward. The void trembled and stars fell. His eyes were like torches. What's impossible about it? It only proves that your space-time domain is too weak. Even my space-time domain can't confine it. You want to assassinate me, Feng Du, with just this bit of strength? You must be joking. Could it be that there are no more experts in the demon race and they could only send trash like you? Swoosh. As soon as he finished speaking, he threw a punch. He operated the power of the space-time domain. It was as if it was so close yet so far away. It contained unparalleled power of space and destructive power. No! The golden-horned saint screamed. He sensed that the power of the punch had completely locked onto his soul. He wanted to dodge, but he realized it was too late. Because in just a second, Xia Ping teleported in front of him and punched through his chest. Boom! In an instant, the body of the golden-horned saint shattered. Even his soul couldn't withstand the power and was completely destroyed. Chapter 2403. What kind of joke is this? One of the ancient demon sages found it hard to believe. This sage Fengdu was simply too terrifying. In front of the three ancient demon sages, he was unscrupulous and domineering, killing a near-ancient demon sage with a single punch. One had to know that this was a near-ancient demon sage who had comprehended spatial laws. He should be an expert of the same level as this kid. Even under normal circumstances, they would need to fight for 300 rounds before a victor could be decided. How could it be like now, where the golden horn sage was killed with a single punch? Damn you, Fengdu, you're courting death. How dare you kill another demon sage in front of us? I definitely won't let you off. Just wait for your death. The other two ancient demon sages were both shocked and furious. They flew into a rage. This sage Fengdu was simply too arrogant. He actually dared to kill their helper in front of them. This was not as simple as being slapped in the face. This was simply a humiliation to their dignity as ancient demon sages. It was as if he was saying that even if ancient demon sages were here, as long as Fengdu wanted to kill someone, no one would be able to live. Won't let me off? Do you think I'll let you off? All of you can stay here today. Xia Ping circulated the powerful magic power in his body, and a spatial domain that reached 700 light-years instantly enveloped the three ancient demon sages, completely wrapping them up and controlling them. What? How dare you try to use a spatial domain to restrain us? Who gave you such courage? The three ancient demon sages were furious. A puny near-ancient demon sage dared to use a spatial domain to restrain them? This was simply showing off in front of Confucius. How much did this guy look down on them? However, in the next second, they were astonished. This was because this sage Fengdu's spatial domain was too terrifying. It was almost corporeal, as if it had formed the embryonic form of a world. The instant this spatial domain came crashing down, it seemed to lock down everything in this space. Even the laws of time seemed to be forcefully isolated from this domain. They felt that their spatial domain was completely suppressed. This was purely crushing them in terms of absolute power. Sometimes, a space-time domain wasn't everything. If the space was strong enough, it could even affect the laws of time. It was just like how 50 kilograms of strength couldn't move a super train. Now they had the same feeling. Their space-time domains were clearly of a higher level, but they were helpless against this unimaginably large space domain. This was simply using one's power to suppress others. This won't do. The space-time domain doesn't have any effect on this fellow. Use soul attacks and kill this kid at the soul level. A primordial demon sage shouted. Although there were very few demon saints who were good at using soul secret techniques, they were naturally proficient in soul attack secret techniques since they had been dispatched as assassins. Many of the assassination targets had extremely strong defenses and immortal bodies, but they couldn't resist attacks on the soul level. This was the greatest weakness of the sages. Rumble, in the blink of an eye, the three primordial demon sages attacked at the same time. Powerful soul waves immediately erupted from their bodies, forming a soul storm. Even a middle-aged saint of the same level would be instantly killed in this place, turning into an idiot. There was even less of a need to talk about ordinary near-ancient saints and undying saints. They would be killed in an instant, unable to resist at all. Soul attack? Xia Ping squinted his eyes. He immediately sensed the terrifying soul attack waves from the three primordial demon sages. It was filled with destructive aura and terrifying energy. The soul wave seeped into his space domain because it was a higher-level attack that directly targeted the soul. Even the space-time domain couldn't completely resist it. In an instant, the powerful soul wave immediately bombarded the depths of Xia Ping's sea of consciousness. It attacked his soul body and produced extremely terrifying destructive waves. However, at this moment, a huge bell appeared from the depths of his soul. It was his natal magic treasure, the Chaos Bell. It immediately enveloped his entire soul and blocked the soul attack waves. The Chaos Bell buzzed and emitted chaotic air currents, easily stopping the soul attack of the 3 primordial demon sages. All the soul waves were turned into nothingness. In fact, the Chaos Bell was only the first layer of defense for his soul. The second layer of defense was the ultimate treasure, the World Tree. Even if a primordial sage came and used a soul attack, he probably wouldn't be able to break through the defense of the World Tree. If the primordial sages knew about this, they would probably go even more crazy. Of course, if they really knew, they probably wouldn't have the guts to come to Thunder City to assassinate him. What kind of joke is this? He actually has a soul defense magic treasure. Isn't he too rich? Damn it. The space-time domain can't restrain him and the soul attack doesn't work. How are we going to kill him? Damn it. Why did we encounter such a monster? We 3 primordial demon sages couldn't even kill him together. The eyes of the 3 primordial demon sages turned green and they were extremely jealous. It should be known that soul defense magic treasures were extremely rare in the universe. Even the primordial sages might not have one, let alone the primordial sages who didn't have one. However, this kid actually had a soul defense magic treasure. The value of this magic treasure alone surpassed many sage artifacts. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that it was priceless. They were going crazy with jealousy. This primordial sage of the human race was too rich. He even had a soul defense magic treasure. Where did he get it from? You have a lot of tricks up your sleeves. However, if you want to kill me with soul attacks, you are really delusional. Xia Ping's eyes were cold and murderous. Damn it. I can't continue like this. 3 minutes are almost up. The Thunder City's restriction array is about to be activated. Purple Thunder Sage, Rain Listener Sage, and that bunch of scoundrels will probably arrive soon. Admit it. We failed our mission this time. We couldn't kill this Fengdu sage. Instead, we lost an important spy. Damn it. Damn human. I'll let him live a little longer this time. Don't let me find another opportunity. Otherwise, I'll definitely kill him. The 3 primordial demon sages gritted their teeth. However, they were also decisive people. They immediately fled when they saw that the situation wasn't good. In fact, this was also a characteristic of killers. If they missed their target, they would flee far away. Even if they wanted to personally kill this bastard, according to the current situation, it was already impossible to kill this Fengdu sage. If they didn't escape from this place now, they would definitely die. No one could save them. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.